Iban!
Iman!
Yep, drop frame 0. We are live for 5 seconds.
Woo!
Glorious 30 FPS. Hello, everyone. Let's just wait for people to show up.
And I'll let people know on Discord.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. We are streaming a live episode of Reborn!
No!
Exclamation point.
No!
Surprise!
Oh my god.
Hi,
For the benefit of
Hi, Drifter.
future generations, she actually did type a live episode of Reborn. That wasn't a joke she did to fuck with me. She has informed
Yes.
everyone on our server that she's streaming Reborn.
Yes.
The least popular thing we've done. Instead of
Yes.
Bloodborne cut content, the most popular thing we've done.
So that people who are true members of the Snack Covenant will show up and experience this awesomeness.
Yeah,
And the fakers will miss this.
You are going to make this thing, listed, right?
I might even put a Reborn background and rename it to Reborn. It's going to be like a
get
Snack
taken down
Covenant
by
mystery.
Marvelous?
Marvelous is always watching.
Hang on, I'll just get the URL.
Hi, Harvey. Hi,
Hello.
Commander. Hi, Guy. Oh my god, I love Harvey so much. Do you know what Harvey just said after I added everyone and told them this is Reborn?
What?
Do you know what Harvey said? I am kinda disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah. You've cultivated some interesting people here.
The best.
What if
Hi,
Marvelous has
Miguel.
embedded agents in the server?
Oh no!
Hang on, I'll just tell.
Not said. Is this not Reborn? Unsubbed. We're a Reborn only server.
Let's tell Mimi.
Welcome, Acidia.
Um.
Oh, somebody left. Lord of Slumberway left an icon of a little gun. Get it? Because
yeah.
desperation bullet.
Okay, we've got 13 people. Do you want to start?
Yay! Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so what you're looking at now are the Bloodborne object files that I've extracted from the game and I've converted to a format that this program called Noasis can read.
Mm-hmm.
Sin, do you want to guess how long this took?
16 hours.
A bit less than that.
8 hours.
You're on the mark, actually. I wrote a macro to convert them. The macro started running at 1:30 p.m. and it finished at about 9 p.m. So 7.5 hours of just going through all these object files and spitting them out in this format. They have no textures. I can add textures to them, but I have to do it by hand for every single model. I can't automate it, as far as I'm aware. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go through them, and then we will, if there's any that we want particularly, nice shots of, I can go add the textures later in Blender.
Okay.
So there's two sets of objects. This is the set of objects that are just, objects on their own that you could put anywhere. And then there's also a set of objects that are, parts of the map geometry that, don't exist apart from those maps. So this one here, there's I think there's about 1,600 of these things here. And then when we get to the maps, and I hate that it's this number, but it is true, there's over 9,000. There's a 9,523. That's why it took...
Nani?
That's why it took 7.5 hours to spit them all out. Because there's So all up we have about 10,500 1,000 objects. We're not going to go through all of them. We'll just take a
Wait.
quick tour. Yeah.
Why not?
Because that would take years.
Are you saving them for a podcast? One object per podcast?
That depends on how long it takes for Elden Ring to come out. You excited that, like, Elden Ring is supposedly the biggest game they've ever made? Which means it will have even more of, like, this to go through?
Yeah. A little.
Cool. Alright, let's go. Also, you have screen share set up, so you can see,
yes.
At the same time, I have to wait for the delay, so...
Luis Pedro Costa said, please do it, so we have to do it now.
Alright then. So, this that we're looking at here, you can see on the side, there's, like, all the objects have an ID. So basically, the first 2 digits of the ID are the map it's designed for. These ones are all 00, so I think they were just for testing, because there is no map 00. So let's just go through them. So this here, if you remember the trailer, the, like, early Project Beast trailer that showed the hunter.
Yeah, they would, like, put the sword in it or something.
Yeah, this was the earliest that we think, either the earliest or second earliest thing you used to, like, as a checkpoint.
And is this the same thing that's in Gurman's house?
Yeah, it's reused in the Hunter's Dream. At the back of the workshop, and it's also used in the chalices. It's the thing that the lights are on that go on when you know you can go through the door. The little, like, is it locked, is it not locked? So this was going to be, like, really important early on, and then kind of they just kept scaling it back until it was barely a thing anymore. Knowing that, like, they seem to have been thinking in terms of Demon Souls, I think this is supposed to be reminiscent of an Archstone. You know, in Demon Souls, you got the stones in the Nexus. Yeah. Anyway, we've all seen this. It's in the game. This is just the, like, the version you would use when it was an object, rather than just a statue. What else have we got? It's a messenger.
Oh.
So
what a cutie pie.
Yeah. So you can see, like, its face is kind of a mess.
A little bit.
Yeah, so that's because when it loads, like, something like a messenger or a Yharnamite or something that's got multiple configurations, it will have, like, 10 heads, and it'll choose one when the game is loading it.
What?
Because, like, you know how all the messengers, they all have slightly different heads, right?
Yeah.
That's actually just one messenger with a bunch of different heads. And then it just chooses one when it loads it. Because of the way it's loaded in this program, it's loading all of them at once.
Holy moly. Oh my god, Richie, do you know what Red Drifter just said?
Is this Greg?
Is this Greg? Oh my god, Red Drifter.
It's all the messengers at once. Someone says I sound different and might have corona.
What? What?
Last and First Man. I put some gain on. I might take the gain off. It's only like 1 decibel.
Huh.
Anyway, I had a blood test today, but I don't think I have corona. So let's go.
You know what song has been playing in my head on loop, and then I've been singing to my boyfriend? He's like, what?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear it?
Certainly.
My corona.
Good.
I don't know if the mice are accurate. I feel like there's less mice in the actual song, but that's how I interpret it.
Let's talk about messengers.
Okay.
So this is the one with every hat attached. So it's the same principle, like the messenger loads with every single hat, and then you can... I don't know what this is. I think this is like a gravestone. Oh, actually, no. This is for when you die, and you, like, leave a little gravestone online. I'm trying to find stuff we haven't seen before. It's more messengers. There's the messenger and the lantern for the Chalice Dungeons.
Aww.
There's a bunch of corpses. If you've seen the version that Lance streamed, when he streamed the TGS build, all the corpses in the game looked like this. They didn't use the models they use now. Okay, here we go. Here is the hunter from Hemwick.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah. So this is because, as far as we can tell, when they first conceptualized Bloodborne, the story was going to start in Hemwick, and what would happen is you'd find a dead hunter who was like, it's the same model that they use now. And when you touched the hunter, like, this is back when it used warp chairs, I think. When you touched the hunt, although I don't think warp chairs may have been added later on. Something to do with this hunter, like you'd touch it, and then when you touched it, you like inherited his hunt. Like he passed it on to you. And that's sort of, or like you got the disease from him or something like that. Because there's like a note that says like you start, like you beat the boss and then you encounter like the hunter like corpse, and that's sort of what binds you to the dream. People asking if that's a messenger above. Yeah. That is just his head. This program has kind of odd controls because you can zoom in, but then once you zoom in past a certain point, you have to use the right mouse to zoom in. Let's try to. This is a very good program, but I'm still getting used to the control. That's just his face.
He is such a galaxy brain. His head is trying to fly out into the cosmos.
So here's the hunter from Project Beast. I'll just get a better view. So, like, in the Project Beast trailer, you've got that hunter who's running around, and people are like, oh, what settings is that so I can recreate the character? And the answer is it doesn't have any. It's not it's not created with the character generator like the others. It is just, like, they just made a bespoke model for that character. You can't change anything about them. They're basically just, they're like that constantly. So these are the corpses. It's like, this is a healing church. This is actually the corpse of a healing church person, and when it loads, it animates to be, like, in its death pose, basically. So if we get around to streaming the map viewer, which we might, you'll notice that there's, like, this character is standing everywhere, and you might think, like, wait, I don't remember there being healing church NPCs everywhere, and the answer is it's corpses. But they sort of become a corpse when the game actually loads them. This is the same. This is the Yharnamite corpse. And this is the beast corpse. The beasts, by the way, look really, like, funny. Hang on. They just, like, they look so goofy.
They look friendly.
They look like a Muppet.
Yeah.
Ah! That is the, like, Thumerian corpse you see in the dungeons. That's Gratia's corpse. Oh, hang on, sorry, something's happened.
Yeah.
Be back in a second.
Yeah. How's everyone doing today? Everyone's keeping safe? Everybody's practicing social distancing? I'm good. Working from home these days. For obvious reasons. Oh, Harvey. But it's nice. It's nice to be able to sleep in a little because you don't have to, like, travel to work for 2 hours. So that's been good. I've been learning how to cook without injuring myself to pass the time in quarantine. Hi, Ipsy. Go to sleep. Oh, okay. Well, while Richie's away, do you guys want to play the guessing ASMR game? Okay. So I'm holding something really cool in my hands. I'm gonna touch it. As you can see, it's a lot of parts. That's why the touching sounds different. Reborn Funko Pop? No, but you're right. It is like a little statue or whatever. So you're on the right track. Oh my god, Lucas. Richie's a game asset. Well, let me give you a hint. It's a 40 feet tall armored robot. Its catchphrases are better dead than red and democracy's non-negotiable. Richie Funko Pop. Yes! Earthen?
I'll be another minute,
You got
sorry.
it. Yeah, no problem. We're having fun here. Having lots of fun. Yep, it's a Liberty Prime. That's right. It's a little Liberty Prime thing. I mean, it's not 40 feet tall, though I wish, but it's like a smaller one. I put it here on the table next to me to inspire me when I work from home. It keeps me focused. Oh my god, yeah, New Vegas. Okay. Oh, okay, you guys. Do I have it here? Quickly. Where's New Vegas? Okay, this is unopened New Vegas PS3 case. It's still wrapped in plastic. I just bought it to have it. I have it on PC, but I just wanted an unopened one on PS3. And I also have the Fallout 3 one. It's also unopened and still wrapped in plastic. So that's the Fallout 3. By the way, is it anybody's first time on the stream? Richie will be just a minute. What's up, Lacey? Hi, Kenneth. Harvey, lol. I imagine a robot that represents capitalism will keep you focused on your job. Does everybody know about my Liberty Prime, the picture that I have behind me? I commissioned Ike. Ike is the artist that made our logo, the Snack Covenant logo, as well as a few other things. And so I told Ike to make me a communist prime. So like Liberty Prime, but communist. And he drew this wonderful thing that's behind me at all times when I stream. It's beautiful. I can't show it now because Rich is in control of the screen. But if you come by and I stream, you'll see it. USSR Simon testifies. Yes. Lol, Harvey. I've seen it. Lol. Oh my god, Lucas. Rich is helping the neighbors on the meth lab. Hi, Ludwig. Richie's feeding his many stray animal pets. Yeah, Lacey. Actually. Do y'all want to do some riddles while Rich is away? We could do that. Okay. What has to be broken before you can use it? Richie is legit an actual princess. Disney princess. Chopsticks. That's a good one. You know what? I will accept that as an answer. Here they said an egg. Though you don't use an egg, you eat it. So you know what? I will email this website and I will tell them the right answer is chopsticks. What sits in the corner and flies all around the world? Oh my god, that's deep. I have no idea. Your spine?
Okay, I'm back. I'm just setting up again.
Hi. Covers don't even need the egg peel. I know, right? Oh, this is a good one. What month of the year has 28 days?
Hello.
Richie, we're doing riddles. What month of the year has 28 days?
What month?
All of them!
Oh,
Some people
okay,
got
yeah.
it right.
Yeah, I get it.
Congrats, yeah. That, did it take you full 10 seconds to
I'm
be like,
kind of
wait
tired.
a minute? And like zoom in on your face with all those equations flying around.
Hey everyone, I see like Bubble and Laura have shown up while I wasn't here. We gained like 10 viewers when I left.
They really like
Yeah.
riddles.
Where's my cam? My cam's not active because I'm doing screen share. So this is a warp chair.
Oh my goodness, that's a fancy chair.
Yeah, there's two of them. There's this one and... No, those are the spears. Is it this one? There's like an older, crappier warp chair in here. Anyway. So if you remember, like, the warp chairs were different depending on the area, like, they were in. Yeah. So this is interesting. These are... Do you recognize these?
It's spear or a fence?
No, this is when you get frenzied by winter lanterns and the spears, like, shoot out of your body.
Oh, these are blood spears?
Yeah, they're also the spears you see in Nightmare of Mensis and the spears that Queen Yharnam shoots at you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
you
and
know what?
they're
I
just
thought they
here.
were a lot more... They look a lot more disorganized to me. Like, they look fancy here.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, I still don't know what they're supposed to be in-game. They're just here, they're just an object that's... The texture is called Halberd. So, there we go. But...
Yay!
Yeah. This is the gravestone for when you die and the messengers rise you out of the...
Harvey says, blood spears, Britney's alter ego.
Well, if we're lucky, Code Vein will arrive in a couple of days.
Oh, snap!
So this is just... These are all map 0, so it's... I think these were all for testing. They think they scrubbed most of them when they hit the... I'll reveal, actually, as a carrot, that we will see the original Witch's Abode layout in this stream. Like, the original layout. Yep. So here's Project Beast Hunter again. Mensis Corpse.
It's floating
Lantern.
above the chair.
Broken Lantern. Actually, not sure what this is. This is like... It's like a... It's a broken window. I don't know where it's used. It's not Gilbert's window. Because it was dead. These are all tests. Like, there's a test cathedral doors, but this is for map 0, so like it's not the actual doors we find in game.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're now on. Okay, so we're now in map 21, which is the Hunter's Dream.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Let's look
so
around.
This is one of the chalices. They based on the numbers, it goes like 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like I think they've removed a couple of chalices because it goes from 1 to 3. Here's another chalice. Here's the East Chalice. Which if you pay attention to, like, when you put a chalice on an altar, you get a like little Oh yeah. Bubble points out it's the window up a Cathedral Ward that the beast breaks through. That's right. Thank you. So the East Chalice is kind of like a weird like meteor or volcanic rock or something. Yeah. So that's the East Chalice without a texture. This is the cool one.
What is this?
This is a cleric beast's head in a chalice.
Is that in game?
No. It's like you're using the cleric beast's head as an offering in a chalice.
Oh, that's so awesome!
Yeah, Laura's saying my chalice. Like, yes, because she did a stream similar to this, where she went through the objects and we found this and we're like, what the hell is this? So I'm gonna, like, go through and see if I can find the textures for it if they still exist. We actually found the textures for Lawrence's human skull. I can show that off later as well. I don't know how long we'll be here for. It's my mother's birthday, so I have to get going like in the evening, but it's only midday, so I can stick around for a while.
Oh, happy birthday, Richie's mom.
Thanks, Sen. This is a skull, and it's got, I think that's like a stand that it was like on something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
though. I thought
it's like a doorknob.
Yeah, I thought fancy doorknob. I thought it might be Lawrence's skull, but like it has no crown and it's on a stand, so I don't really. Yeah. Laura's saying the textures are in the Hunter's Dream map. The reason these don't have textures is because their textures are held in the map that they're attached to. So what I can do is I can extract them from the map and put them on, but I have to do each one individually, and like I said, there's 10,500 of these. So I'm only going to do the ones that seem important. This is the door to the Hunter's Dream. This is a skybox. If you're wondering what this is like when you're in the dream, that's the sky. So it's like there's the sky, and then in that the little flats inside are the clouds, just moving in the distance. This is the sky when like the red moon shows up. You see, you get this huge that's sort of the moon and the storm. This is one of the crucifixes from Gurman's boss arena.
What?
You know when you're fighting him and there's like the crosses up? It's
yeah,
one
but
of those.
What's on them?
That's so leaves.
Oh.
Because what the leaves are is it's like a flat surface they stick a leaf texture on. So unfortunately, if there's like a tree or something, it looks like it has scales. So here's something really cool. You ready?
Yes.
Broken doll. I'll zoom in a bit.
That's beautiful. Look at that pose.
Yeah, so this is a broken doll. It's just her hands and her head.
What's this mean?
Well, we know now that like this is called object 210100. So 21, that means it's for map 21, which is either the dream or the workshop.
Huh.
So it was for one of those areas. I don't know. People are saying, could you break her apart? I don't know if like this is her after she's broken, or it's like you'd find an incomplete version. Maybe like the one in the workshop, like in the waking world, would be unfinished, or something like that.
Yeah, she's voguing.
She'd be destroyed when the workshop was burned down.
Yeah,
Astrolace points out like there's a doll repair kit, and it's possible. Doll repair kits for Cainhurst, but like I can't. I've looked through the Cainhurst stuff. There's less interesting Cainhurst stuff than you'd think because they did a pretty good job scrubbing it all. There's the gate to where Gurman is. I'm going to start like skipping ahead of it because I'm not going to go through thousands of them. Here's us when we're a squid at the end. Here's our like squid form.
What? That's us?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh,
So there's the little tentacles.
What a cute little
Yeah.
baby. Which Mafia baby is that, Richie?
Sluggo. This is Gurman's Scythe. I think this is the version for the cutscene. Because it's like, I think it's set to animate. What else we got? Okay, so this is like bits and pieces of Cathedral Ward. And these are here because when you get Yharnam Sunrise as an ending, you know, when you wake up, you're in Cathedral Ward. The game does not, like, actually put you in Cathedral Ward. There's a tiny version of Cathedral Ward under the Hunter's Dream. And it teleports you there. So there's actually, like, little chunks of Cathedral Ward within the Hunter's Dream map. And that's where it's taking you. Same is true of, like, the Byrgenwerth flashback. There's actually a tiny version of Byrgenwerth under the Grand Cathedral. And it just, like, warps you there.
Huh.
Okay, so now we're on map 22, which is Hemwick.
What was that sphere?
That sphere is the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're now in Hemwick. Again, nothing like... The Hemwick map data is, I think, more interesting than the object data. You can just see, like, there's just a lot of, like, you know, farm implements and broken stuff. I think we're going to run into anything super... There's the warp chair from Hemwick. Hang on. Come back. That's this one. That's the Hemwick warp chair. There's one of the crows from Hemwick, not the enemy crow, like the ones that fly away at the start. So there's a gigantic file. It's like 122 megabytes. I forget what this is. Come on, open. Oh yeah, okay. This is the corpse card. So if you follow Lance's stuff, you'll know like what this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the flower, right?
This is an object that loads in Hemwick. You can see it's massive. It's like, in terms of size, I think it's the single biggest object in the game. Like size, by which I mean like how much data it takes up, not physically.
Huh.
Because it's so complicated. Because there's all these little like like you've got the like coffins and all the detail and everything. Basically,
what's in the coffin?
Well, the problem is that like the coffins are all inside each other, like a matryoshka. Because when it loads like that, there's like it's all in the middle, and then when it actually loads in game, it spaces them out. I'm pretty sure there's no corpse in them though, because if you don't see inside, then there wouldn't be a point in modeling a corpse. So yeah, and you can see like it's got no outside texture to it. It only renders like if you can see inside it from outside. So if we zoom in and look around from the inside, suddenly, like, you can. It has walls. So that's because, like, it was only designed to be seen from inside. So we assume this is for a cutscene. Because otherwise, like, there's no reason for it to only have an inside. We assume it would be like the Hemwick, when you take the carriage to Hemwick. Last and first, man, why'd they spend so much detail on the corpse cut? It was probably really important early on. Like, I suspect this was used to go to and from Cainhurst, rather, early on. Like, maybe it was pulled by the horse carriage, because there's, like, they've really modeled the interior. And it's full of and like, if you've seen this texture, they're like, it's full of Cainhurst stuff and portraits and things.
Great.
Yeah. So the doll coffin should be... Okay, here's one. This coffin's never used. You only notice that if you're like a total nerd and you've played it enough times to recognize the coffins, but we never see that coffin. Same with this coffin. These are for... Can we go inside it? I think there's nothing in it. Yeah, it's empty. These coffins are for, like, they're for Hemwick. Here we go. This is the cool one. This is the one...
Oh, it looks fancy.
This is a coffin. Lance has shown this off. It's a coffin that's got a flower laid on it. So that coffin, I think, back when they had like a different origin for the doll, this would have been her coffin. Because that is the same, as far as I can tell, the same flowers that are in her bonnet.
Mm-hmm. And we talk about that on a couple of Maria podcasts that we did previously.
So, like, we know that this has a working texture because Lance has loaded it.
Mm-hmm.
So I will eventually, like, properly texture this thing. We can see the flower from inside because it doesn't.
Aww.
Yeah. This is not going to be, like, exhaustive because I don't want to, like, be here for an eternity going through them. This is the Hemwick carriage.
Fancy.
Yeah. It's a burning scourge beast which you don't see in Hemwick. Hemwick was like, I think it was the second area they made. Okay, so now we are in Old Yharnam. Map 23 is Old Yharnam. There's again nothing you haven't seen before, I think, in Old Yharnam. They pretty much left it the same. Just like a lot of broken stuff. Might just like I went through this and I didn't see anything super interesting. Yeah, it's pretty much just like I'll go through seeing if there's anything large. Like this is like a 9. Oh, it's a ladder. I think I guess that's the ladder to Dura probably. That's another ladder.
Definitely.
There's a lot of ladders.
Hi Bob, welcome.
Okay.
This is Reborn.
It is Reborn. It's a special episode of Reborn, where in order to fill in even more time and pad the series out even more, Suna, voiced by me, goes through all of the Bloodborne data while Reborn, voiced by Sin. This goes, ooh, fancy. So this is the, we know these statues, they're in the game, that they have the lanterns, but it's got a bell here. So
Did you pull it?
What?
Can you pull the bell?
Well, this is interesting, because, like, that statue with the bell is in one of the old Project Beast trailers.
Oh.
Yeah. And it focuses on it like it's going to be important, and then it doesn't ever show up in the game. The bell itself does. It's hanging from a building in Cathedral Ward, kind of near where Ariana is. If you look up, you can see that bell. But the that exact configuration is never seen, and it does look a lot like you could probably use it. So I'm wondering if, like, maybe if you rang it, it would do something to the church servants, because they got the bells around their neck that you could maybe make it resonate. I don't know.
Oh, that would be neat.
Yeah. And also, like, Sekiro has a bunch of shit about bells in it. Like, there's a few places where you have to ring a bell to make something happen. So I'm wondering if, like, that's a recycled idea from this. But yeah, if you've seen that shot from Project Beast, it does make that bell look like it's important, but we never knew what it did.
No.
And then it's got a bunch of switches. Baby carriages. Coffins. Well, 99% of this is coffins, by the way, surprising nobody. Yeah. The problem is I haven't properly, like, annotated what. Here's the Erden Chapel doors.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yeah, you can get the Erden Chapel doors and then you can make them thick by opening this one. Oh, Last and First Man Reborn does have a video game, but it's entirely in... It's like a visual novel for the DS, but it's entirely in Japanese.
Yeah, and Suna also shows up in, like, fighting games.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of, like, shonen fighting games with, like, mascots in them.
We need to play them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Good.
See, I'm trying to figure out anything to say about Cathedral Ward, because, like, I'm sure there's interesting stuff here that we've never seen, but, like, there's so much stuff. All I have to go off is IDs. I don't really know. What's this? Oh, that's just a really long rope, I guess. Oh, this would be from the workshop, where there's the ropes hanging down. To show you where to fall. This is interesting.
No, we haven't
like,
played it.
This is all Yusef's clinic, yeah. I was going to say I don't recognize this, but I'm realizing now they're loading it for the clinic.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like something interesting, but I have no idea what any of these numbers mean.
Everything we do is interesting, Richie.
Because with the enemies, there were only like... It's like a couple of hundred, so I was able to just write down what everyone was. This is Gilbert's window, and then there's like the broken version for when he busts out.
Aww. Poor Gilbert.
This is all the doors for the... Oh, hang on, there's the half-transformed Celestial Corpse. Here is... These are the doors from Yusefka's clinic. They all have different configurations of, like, cracks in them. That's just, like, from the bridge, the lanterns on the bridge. Sorry, something just fell over in the background, it's fine.
Was that Ingrid jumping on
no,
stuff?
it was that poster of the skull. It's okay, it's fine. I would never allow any harm to come to it. This, I don't know what... This is... Looks like it's a lift.
It's a coaster. Oh.
This looks like it might be a lift. I don't know what part it's in. It doesn't seem to have any, like chains or anything on it. It might be the Erden Chapel lift, I don't know. These are the statues from Upper Cathedral Ward that have the things on them. There's the door to the Grand Cathedral. So this is the one that actually uses the one we saw before was like... That was just a test object. That's the clinic gates, I think. What's this? It's more clinic gates. There's a bunch of duplicates in here. Because when you've got a Blu-ray, you can waste all the space you want. One of the trees. This would be the trees that you see from the bridge when you're going over it, like really massive ones that reach up to the. That's a warp chair. For I think that's Upper Cathedral Ward warp chair. If you go into this, like the textures will call them something, like The reason I know these are warp chairs is because their textures actually are called just like warp chair in the files. Oh, actually, no. I think that might be the chair from the clinic, and that's the note that says, like, seek pale blood. This is kind of weird. It's very hard to get a good angle on it. What's this? Oh, these are the ones that are hanging at the dry docks. When you knock them down, there's like one's got a rifles, one's got the sword spear, one's got the bloodstone shards. A lot of duplicates. Oh, yeah, there's the statues from the cathedral. Looking at this, you can see like the models themselves don't appear to be that detailed. A lot of the actual detail you see in game is basically done with texture mapping. Because it adds what's called a normal map, which basically gives everything a height. So you have these things that don't look that complicated, but then they add a texture that like kind of maps everything to have different heights and reflections and things. Oh look, butt. So this is the Upper Cathedral Ward little celestial statues, but the axes are inverted when I converted them for some reason, so we're going to see a lot of asses. More statues. More statues.
Bits of Bloodborne.
Oh god. Oh yeah, Lumen Flower.
Cute.
And yeah.
And it's closed.
Yeah. I don't. The open ones, as far as I can tell, aren't here. That's a crow. I think there are crows in Upper. Oh yeah, they're flying around in the sky. I remember now. They're like circling in the direction of Hemwick. You can see them from the bridge. Oh yeah, Bubble was... Yeah, okay, so Bubble said like that's the broken window from Cathedral Ward, and it is. I'm absolutely sure it is now, yeah. And wonder, there's the chandelier that the wolves are on.
Bob says, "Crows of Bloodborne."
Well, there's a few. Oh, it's another lift. That'd be the lift to Ebrietas.
To who?
Don't. I knew you would say that.
I knew you knew.
Yeah.
I knew you knew. I knew you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
Like an infinite.
Trapdoor.
Oh, nice.
I don't think these don't show up in. We're still on Cathedral Ward. I don't think these are ever used in Cathedral. Oh no, they're in Upper Cathedral Ward with when you go up the ladder where the brain suckers are. Don't worry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the big window that you break through, and then the one we saw before would be like the patch they apply to make it break. Bunch of tombstones. If we want, we can load these in Blender, and then we can actually move around like the objects. Like we can, the ones that are a mess, it's possible to take them apart and reassemble them if we use an actual editor, not a viewer. But I don't want to do that for all of them because it would drive me insane. So this is the coffin in that leads to Old Yharnam. And we're still on map 24 because it's enormous. There's actually oh, this is interesting. These are the guns that are in the DLC. But it's loading in like regular Cathedral Ward, which makes me wonder if maybe they had these planned for Cathedral Ward and then they scrapped them and then did them again. Oh, my neon hair. My hair is back to being black because I just used temporary hair paint, and then I just had a shower and it came out. I will probably dye my hair like permanently at some point because I'm stuck indoors.
Oh.
Nobody can see me. I can look as stupid as I want. Oh, there's Viola.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, so we've talked about this a bit before, but Viola's model is just the doll. Like, that's just the doll's model in a pose where she's, like, lying on the ground. And then they texture her differently. But you can see it's the same, like, the shawl and the skirt and the boots are all the same. There's the statue from the top of the cathedral altar. It's the other one. That's a Scourge Beast that, like... I think this might be for the clinic. When you see the cutscene of like the wolf rising out of the ground, I think it's this one.
How come you think that?
Because it's not it's not the enemy type. It's just like they've made a static Scourge Beast model that they could animate in the cutscene. Same way like our slug form, like that's not animated. Like that's only animated in the cutscene. They like write an animation for it there, but if you just look at it normally, it doesn't do anything. There's the make contact corpse. Oh, actually, hang on. This might be the one that's on the side of the building. Now that I think about it, because it's with other Upper Cathedral Ward assets. So this might be the one that's on the side of the building, and then it like breaks through the glass. But I'm guessing when it breaks through, they just swap. Like they swap from this to an actual like enemy version. That's obviously an amygdala. I don't know where it's from. It might be the one
it
from
looks
Erden
cool.
Chapel.
Can you like zoom out?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Might be the one from Erden Chapel.
Thanks.
This is the copy of Byrgenwerth. So this is underneath the Grand Cathedral. So when you see the Byrgenwerth flashback, it doesn't actually load the Byrgenwerth map, it loads this. And yeah, basically to save it having to load Byrgenwerth and then go back again for one scene. And it's actually a slightly different
cool.
It's a slightly different layout to the one that you see in game. Yeah, it's more Byrgenwerth assets. Dead Yharnamite. No idea what this is. Yep, got some coaches. I don't know what these are. So I'm gonna be like, yep, that's a thing. Oh, Amelia's pendant.
Can we see what's written on it?
No, because it has nothing written on it.
Darn.
It does have something written on the texture, though.
What is it?
I don't know. It's clearly written. It's like in handwriting, but you can't see what it is. I think it might say she dreams. That's my guess, though.
Oh.
So this is Amelia. And again, because Amelia's only ever seen in a cutscene, they don't make her like an NPC or an enemy. They just make her like a static model. So this is animated like by the animation script. If you just load this into the game, it does nothing. Also, Amelia feet pics. Finally.
Oh my god! Finally, Seed of Bloodborne. We did it, Richie. Yes.
Still in Cathedral Ward. God, this place is so huge. Just broken shit everywhere.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab my coffee and be right back.
I won't spoil anything interesting. Okay, so we're now on map 25, which is Cainhurst. And yeah, it's kind of disappointing. They actually they scrubbed Cainhurst pretty well. There's not much here that we haven't seen before. But again, we will see fairly close to like an old layout of Cainhurst in this. It's pretty much just statues though. Like when we load up the map files, I'll be able to take you through an older version of Cainhurst that's kind of in pieces. It's not the absolute oldest because I've seen the like the old maps that they just had on paper, and that's a totally different layout, but you can get a decent look at it. Like here's all the books from the library. These are the ones that are scattered. You can see they just load them in like a chunk, and then they change the position of each individual book. Oh, it's only like midday. I can do this all day. Again, more Cainhurst statues. I mean, we streamed Bloodborne with Sin getting the platinum for about 6 hours or something, and people stuck around for that. So, you've set a dangerous precedent. Here's Ligarius' throne. Okay, good night, Mackenzie. This is Annalise's throne. And then the version with her like splattered all over the ground is here as well. There we are. So this is when Annalise dies. And like Alfred like pulps her, you can see the goo, and then like the reason those quads, the reason those like squares are there, that's like got the blood texture on it. It's otherwise transparent. So that what puts the blood on the carpet. Here's the throne room. So like this shouldn't really be news to anyone who's been following like the Bloodborne development stuff we've been talking about, but like the idea of Annalise's throne room being hidden and then appearing in the distance, like when you beat Ligarius, that was not the original plan. And they get around, so it's not in the map. It's actually a separate object, so they just cloned that part of the map geometry and they made it an object. So basically, this is hidden. I don't know if we'll see it, depending on how long this goes for. This is like underground in Cainhurst. And then when you put the crown on, it shoots up from... It's like this. It's like... Like really quickly when the mist is swirling around you. So that's how they do that. And you can see it's an exact duplicate of the room. What else is in here? Still in Cainhurst. Just elevators, whatever. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. They scrubbed Cainhurst very well. There's not that much left in it. Here's some... This is the Cainhurst portcullis that opens up. That's the Cainhurst warp chair. If you've seen Lance's video, he gets the Cainhurst warp chair to load, and it looks like this. That's the broken carriage that you get out of at the start. The horses are here too. Oh, there we are. There's the dead horses for the bridge. We need a Bloodborne boundary break. There is one. Lance did one.
Hello.
Hi, we're just talking about boundary break.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, Lance did a boundary break. If you look at the boundary break on Bloodborne, like, Lance actually made the items for that. Mm-hmm. So we're now in really cool. We're now in Nightmare of Mensis, which is map 26. Mm-hmm. So this is the bridge outside Mikkel Ash's arena that raises when you beat him. somehow. I guess he's like Rom. He was stopping the bridge from raising. Here's the...
I made a caramel sandwich.
Is that what I think it is? Is it just what you described?
It's caramel sandwich. It's caramel between 2 pieces of bread. It's caramel that my boyfriend's mom made.
Aww.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Oh, she sounds awesome. Why don't you tell the people watching about baked milk, which you're trying to get me to make?
No. Yeah.
Have you ever had baked milk? Is good slow food.
Yeah, I was asking Richie if he knows about, like, Ryazhenka. And he's like, what? And I'm like, baked milk. And basically, it's a Slav thing, and my mom drinks it, and she's getting me to drink it, because apparently it has a lot of calcium or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically, Wikipedia describes it as, in rural areas, baked milk has been produced by leaving a jug of boiled milk in an oven for a day or for a night until it is coated with a brown crust. Prolonged exposure to heat causes reactions between the milk's amino acids and sugars, resulting in the formation of something compounds that gives it a creamy color and a caramel flavor. It's really good. It's basically thick milk.
Okay.
So I would just, you should try it.
Okay. So now we're on... These are... I've talked about these before, but this is the first time I think we've shown them off, like, in a viewer.
Mm-hmm.
These are the like, blob people who were in Nightmare of Mensis and they don't use anymore. So in Yahar'gul, there's these statues that kind of look like a person that's covered in tumors. They used to be, like, entities in the game. They were, like... They were meant to be, like they had a flesh texture. They were actually, like, people who were squidging around and sort of, like, reaching out. They, like, turned into slime. And they were designed for Nightmare of Mensis. And you can see, like...
So statues used to be people?
A lot of the ones in Yahar'gul that are very, like, fleshy looking, those were actual, people. And then they just changed the texture to rock. But yeah, you can see,
my god!
Yeah, this is one of them. There's another one under it.
Richie, you know how there are statues in, oh, the name escapes me. The place where you gotta get the key to go and the choir or whatever.
Upper Cathedral Ward.
Yeah. And they have sticks and they have like cloth around them. Were they human?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't mean like in terms of the story. I mean like that model used to have like a flesh texture to it. Yeah, they used to be.
Well, what I mean is, do you think those models were humans?
No, I think they were always statues.
Okay.
So here's like the... This is one of the blobs again. 10 people left when we started talking about baked milk.
They went to make some.
Oh, that's what they did.
It's kind of like kefir, essentially.
Yeah. There's Murgo's pram. Murgo's broken pram.
No.
I think these are the chairs that Mensis sit in. Okay, so we're now on 27. I think 27's Forbidden Woods, which is like the size of an actual country. So good luck. Like I'm not going through every fucking Forbidden Woods object. It's ridiculous.
Oh my god, do you know who's here, Richie?
Who?
Majid Vangola. Part of the Vangola family.
Oh, hello. Anyway, this is a spiral staircase that I don't think the game ever uses.
Is it the one where it's the speed dating?
No, because this is for Forbidden Woods. It's not for Byrgenwerth. So this might have been in the windmill earlier. I don't know. It's just kind of here. Alternatively, it might have been like when you used to get from the clinic to the woods by a more complicated route. It's possible that maybe this was part of that pathway because it's from a chunk that goes 022 and then 025. So I think some stuff was deleted. Yeah, there's just a ton of like... Oh, hang on, we can look at these grotesque things. Where is it? So people have asked for a long time, it's like one of those, like, what's this? So, this is what's in the lanterns in Forbidden Woods. That's like burning, and people were like, oh, is it
a rabbit?
It's a rabbit, yeah. So you can see, like, there's its feet. Front feet, and then its head doesn't have ears. The person who figured out it was rabbits was actually Vodka Folly. I don't know if she's still here. But, like, the way she figured it out was she just pointed out that there's a bunch of that entity, like, hanging up from one of the houses. So presumably that's just a hunter who hunts rabbits, skins them, and leaves them out, and they use the rabbits in the lanterns to, like, burn. And I'm pretty sure the reason they're doing that is because they make a big deal out of the beasts being frightened of fire. And I think the idea is if they burn, like, flesh, if they burn the rabbits in the cages, the smell of the rabbit flesh will scare the beasts off. So I don't know why else you'd do it. Ryan asking, besides the astral clock, what objects have Carol runes on them? The problem there is that a lot of the Carol runes they're on the textures. They're not on the model. So, like, the astral clock, if you look at it, if you look at the model, the face is completely flat. And the way they add the runes to it is it's on the normal map, which basically gives everything a depth. So they kind of, like, engrave them onto it via the texture. They don't use the model to do it. Yeah, Yoko pointing out rabbits in Japan are considered to be from the moon, yeah. In Japanese folklore, the idea is, like, the moon looks like a rabbit pounding with, like, a mortar and a pestle. So that's why in Japanese stuff you frequently see, like, rabbits associated with the moon. Like in Mario Odyssey, like, you go to the moon in that, and there's the rabbit people. And, like, you know, Gunnak on the NES, things like that. Are you still there, Sin?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, it's just the humidifier is making noise. I muted.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, like, there's just tons of just, like, Forbidden Woods is enormous, and I'm not going to go through everything. What's this? There's just, like, broken wooden crap everywhere. I'll just skip through unless I see, like, an absolutely gigantic... Oh, there's the cannon. I'm just kind of, like, skipping through until I see something that looks complex. But the problem is a lot of the complex models are actually just grass. That's just grass.
Oh.
Yeah, this drove me mad because I was like, oh wow, there's all these, like, this is like 12 megabytes, which is pretty big for a model. I'm thinking, wow, I wonder what that is, and like 90% of the time it was grass or flowers.
What is this?
It's a broken pot.
Oh.
Yeah, I realized this. The pots start off broken, and then they animate them to be, like, they start off in pieces, and then they're animated to be whole. And then when you break them, they just like flop apart again.
That's intense, man.
Yeah, so that's the messenger bath from the dream, but I think it loads in the woods, but, like, I think this is the woods in Byrgenwerth sort of boundary. I don't quite understand where it is. Byrgenwerth's not this map though; it's a separate map.
Speaking of Byrgenwerth, Richie, didn't we recently do a really cool solo lore video together?
Yes.
Yes.
What's it about?
Well, it's about Willem Byrgenwerth and his story.
Anyway, we're in Yharnam now.
No, I was just looking for it, so I couldn't talk, think, and answer your questions at the same time. But now that I found it,
good idea.
I'm gonna post it in chat. Yeah. So if anybody wants to know more about Willem.
So here's all the corpses for Yharnam. These are the people that, like, people wonder if they're meant to be petrified or they've turned to stone or something. I think they're just dead. Like, I'm pretty sure they just died and they got fused into the walls. The name's Byrgenwerth. Dark Souls Byrgenwerth. Here's a dead snatcher.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this
For
explains something,
one.
because Meph was wondering why like the snatches disappear, but then only the ones in Yharnam leave corpses. And now we know the answer. It's because the Snatcher corpse is an item that only loads in Yharnam. And unfortunately, because this isn't the actual Snatcher model, we can't strip it and see this hot bod like we did last time.
Yes.
So there's the giant corpse cart that the cramped casket jumps out of.
It looks.
Oh, here we go. That is a cramped casket that's closed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which you never. You can only see that in game, I think, via a glitch. Like if you invade someone, like you get it doesn't clip properly, and you can see it when it's in the cart. Otherwise, you can't.
Cool.
Bedsheet. Yeah, I ripped these myself. It took 7.5 hours. This is interesting. This is loading in Yharnam, and I don't remember it. Like it's like a couch.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any couches in Yharnam. There's like the incense.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's the prison where you wake up at the start. There's the baths that that you touch to teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the mirror things that you see up around in Yharnam.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here's like some of the statues. These are the ones I mean. Like these, as far as I can tell, they used to have like a flesh texture, and they were like people who had sort of like melted as a result of exposure to the nightmare. Yeah.
Well, it's not it, but remember the Lance loaded like the doll or something that had a really big head.
What?
And,
oh yeah. Up because it's like a patient. Maybe one day we will find that.
Uh-huh.
Today is not that day.
No.
Actually, we can go looking for it because this lets me load files that are incomplete. Because the problem is a lot of the unused models aren't finished. So if you try to load them in the Dark Souls animation viewer, it just crashes. But this just loads the mesh, so it doesn't matter if the objects like aren't properly animated. Okay, we're now in the Chalice Dungeons. The Chalice Dungeons are fuck huge. It's like over half the assets in the game are just Chalice Dungeon stuff. So you'll forgive me if I just skip this, because it is... The Chalice Dungeons on their own took like about 4 of the 7.5 hours to rip. But yeah, you can see, like, you recognize a bunch of this stuff. Like, yeah. I don't know if we'll find anything. It's mostly just chandeliers and statues and things.
Fancy chandeliers.
I've complained about the
this
having
thing
a
is so...
chandelier.
Yeah, people always wonder, what is this?
Well, that's the same model as the corpses in Yharnam, but they also show up in
Yeah,
the
like
Chalice
what is the lore of the
I think
burning
it's just
corpse
people who were
whatever?
sacrificed. Because of Mensis' ritual thing. It looks like early on those were connected to, you know, the burned warriors that I showed off?
Yeah.
It looks like early on they were connected and like they were something to do with each other because they seem to appear in pairs. Why do the Chalice Dungeons have so much? Because like the Chalice Dungeons are really complicated. And they wanted it, I think, to be a bigger deal than it wasn't. But yeah, the assets are still in here. Here's the Aberdeen sea monster thing. You can... This is a really good look at it because you don't usually see its tail, so you can see like it does have a fish's tail. Yeah, just like a fish, and there's like it's like a dinosaur. There you are.
Dino fish.
Dino fish. It's the same one. There's the other one. This is a less common one. Yeah, I love this. It's so doofy looking.
Cute.
Where is he? He's like, hi, son. There's the dog. This is relating back to the rabbits. Like, those dogs are in the fires in the Chalice Dungeons. And I think the idea, again, like they're burning they're burning corpses because the smell of the flesh would drive the beasts away. That's also possibly what they're doing in Upper Cathedral Ward.
Right.
Because you see, we don't know what's burning there, but like, it would make sense if they were burning animals or something to keep the beasts away from it. To get incense. Yeah, this is again like this is a burning cat, I think. Avert your eyes, Ingrid. Alright. What's this? There's the pig. There's the dead pigs you find.
Aww.
There's such a happy little pig. Look at its face.
Yeah. Aw, he's smiling.
They're having a great time. Like, everyone in Bloodborne is depressed except the pigs, who are just like, they love it. They're just like, this is great. Yeah, more statues. We're still in the goddamn Chalice Dungeons. I'm just gonna skip them. Okay, so we are now in, I think this should be Byrgenwerth, map 32. Yeah, I think this is Byrgenwerth. Yeah, so let's see what's here. This is Byrgenwerth and the research hall. Here's the Byrgenwerth telescope.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So, like, this used to animate.
Right.
If you, like, Lance has looked into this. Like, there was at some point you could do something with the telescope. It was probably, I'm assuming it was to do with the moon. That, like, you'd look up at the moon as the red moon descended or something. Something like that. Before they made it the ROM thing. There's just random chunks of geometry, which is, we assume, left over from what was called Upside Down Byrgenwerth. Which looks like literally you would go through an upside down version of Byrgenwerth.
So in the end, would there be? I feel like you went back and forth.
We went back and forth. We're not entirely sure, but we're starting to think it was real. But like there was actually like inverted Byrgenwerth that you'd like something to do with reflections.
So like Castlevania.
Yeah, like you'd go through the reflection of Byrgenwerth and you'd like drop. We think it was something like you would go in the reflection of Byrgenwerth, and then because the dome facing the moon was now facing down, if you jumped out of the dome, you would fall into the moon. Like, you'd just fall into space and then eventually land in the moon somehow. Something like that. So these are the desks from the research hall. There's, like, one of the specimens on the table.
Huh.
More of it. We can just do... How long do you want to stay up for? Because, like, there's enough material here.
Well, you have to go soon, because it's your mom's birthday.
Yeah, but it's like, it's midday. We're not doing anything till the evening.
What is midday? What time is midday?
It's 12:30 p.m.
And when do you have to go?
I don't know, like 8-ish, maybe?
Wait, what? I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, like, I can keep this going solo. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. This is a Byrgenwerth asset, and it's rigged to move. And we don't know exactly what it was. It's like a platform or like a lift cage or something that would have gone up and down. Don't entirely know what the deal is.
Richie, I have one.
Yes.
You're like, I can go solo. And I'm like, what are you? Jerry Halliwell? Get it? The Spice Girls?
Yeah. I was thrown a bit because I didn't understand why you chose that reference.
Yeah.
It's very. Thank you, Sin, for that timely Spice Girls reference.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so this is the trapdoor from Byrgenwerth. It opens.
It looks just like the other one.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's the same one. This can open. The one above, like, Patch's room also opens. I mean, that's always open, but it looks like you could, perhaps, like, open them properly. Okay, we're in the Nightmare Frontier now. So that's, like, obviously that's the lift that you take.
What? What is that?
You know the lift that in the Frontier that goes up and down?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nightmare Frontier is kind of a mess. So here's, like, the rocks from Mensis. The, like, frenzy rocks you find by the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trapdoor at Byrgenwerth still has an opening animation, it just never plays.
So what would you find underneath, normally?
It's blank. Like, there's actually a little shaft going down, but there's nothing there.
No, like, I mean, like, lore-wise, if it was well planned.
I don't know, it might have gone to, like, the, It's possible that where we go now is just the top floor, and there was another floor underneath originally. It's also possible it went underground to that like area that we think. We're pretty sure the Altar of Despair used to be under Byrgenwerth. So it possibly led to there. We're in the DLC now. This is all Hunter's Nightmare stuff. Again, this is for the Nightmare Church. There's the same statues. It's like they redo this. Oh, there's the third cord.
Oh, hello.
There we go. That is a third umbilical cord.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it is, interestingly, it is for map 34, which is not the fishing hamlet.
Oh.
So that's interesting, because when we talked about the cord, we'd be like, oh, obviously it's in the hamlet, but this implies it was for, like where Lawrence is now. Maybe that was the idea. Because he would have taken it.
Yeah.
Switches. What's this? Yeah, those are just like the corpses in the...
Richie.
Yes.
Switches get stitches. Thank you.
Yeah, there's another meaning of switch that I was thrown for a second. Okay.
I have no idea.
Later on. Yeah, here we go.
Oh.
Here is the gun for the DLC. But like that exact gun's also in Cathedral Ward. So it looks like they did want these guns for Cathedral Ward at some point, and then they just got rid of them and put them back in the DLC. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, that's the pressure plate that you step on that makes the gun fire.
On the what? Sorry?
That's the pressure plate that you step on to make the gun fire. There's like, you can step on the ground and or like these guns. They're attached to a pressure plate. Yeah, if you stand on it, yeah.
Yes.
What else is here? That's like the burning ball that they roll down the stairs. It's part of the ball. That's Ludwig's head.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. See, that's the dead version, not the NPC version. You can see, like, that's an arrow from Simon's bowblade that's stuck in it.
Huh.
So presumably, yeah, like, obviously Simon did kill Ludwig. That's Ludwig if you kill him without the arrow.
Right.
More lanterns.
What's this?
They're just lanterns. Oh, that's another skybox. So this is just a gigantic dome that they just stick on top of the map, and it's got the sky in it. Yeah, I was hoping there'd be a little more. Oh, Lance just messaged me to say he has a list of like everything the game doesn't load. So I guess we can go through those and just look at stuff we never see.
Cool.
I think Lance is watching.
Oh no! Quick, act professional.
Hello,
Roger.
you act professional, sir. Hello. I'm acting professional. Anyway, we're in the research hall now. A lot of these seem to be like duplicated clinic assets. Nothing super... Like, Adeline and her corpse are in here.
Harvey said Simon is Maria getting revenge on Ludwig.
Well,
Couldn't read that for some reason. Yep. Thank you, Harvey.
Thank you.
You're the best, Harvey.
I was just worried that he's going to give you ideas. Simon is Maria? Theory?
I was like, at first I'm like, Simon is getting Maria? Simon is Maria? Yeah.
So that means that Maria killed Maria.
Excellent.
Oh, hey, okay. That's, that is... God, I've inverted the axis. Hang on, reset. That's the clock dial you get from Maria. I guess when you hold it up. Or is it the eye pendant? No, it's in the research hall. So this would be the,
Is it?
Yeah, this would be when you hold the No, it's not. This is the eye pendant.
What is the pendant called?
This is the eye. I'm pretty sure this is the eye pendant. Yeah, it is.
I
That's
don't-
the eye pendant.
Yeah?
It's the one you get from Lawrence and you stick in the skull to make it go up. So there you go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just checked.
Oh
It's
yes,
the same
yeah, you're
design.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering why it's
I
here, and then I'm like, oh
double-checked.
yeah, you have to like turn it on to get. It only shows up when you're in the research hall. Some random. We'll see some dead babies later on.
Oh no.
I know. You know, I have to get regular checks to show that I'm fit to work with children. So I'm worried they'll see that I play too many Miyazaki games.
Oh no. It's okay because you also watch Reborn, so it evens out.
Yeah. Here's the little contraption elevator in the middle. Yeah, here's what I mean. This is... Oh no, it is on here. Okay, never mind. So this is the astral clock. You can see the runes are like in the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, some of them, the runes are just part of the texture, but here it's actually added. So you can see like... Oh, this is how we met. Because I was like going through
Oh my god! Yeah, this is the rune I was looking for!
Yeah, there you go. So here's all the runes. Yeah.
The clock that changed Rich's
The clock
life.
that will change both our lives.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Then yeah, the other side is like, oh yeah, it's all there. Cool. There's Adeline if you kill her.
Bonjour Adeline, comment allez-vous aujourd'hui?
Oh, she's dead. Oh, hang on, here's the altar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can we see closer? Can we see their faces and
Yeah,
stuff?
I'm trying to get the Oof. There we go.
So, who are the people at the altar, Richie?
I'm pretty sure that's Lawrence. And then the other two would just be symbolic of the church. Because they don't have faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, it's like that's Lawrence, the head of the healing church. And, like, in game, they're statues, but, like, I assume, like, one of them is a white doctor and one of them's a black doctor, and he's just, like... And also, like, the altar, like, that has Lawrence on it every other time you see it. Like, these... Lawrence's skull, Lawrence's other skull, and Lawrence as a beast all show up on the altar, so it makes sense that Lawrence himself would be, like, the same position. See it from behind. Annoyingly, I found the texture for Lawrence's human skull. That, by the way, that's, I forget what that is, but it's not interesting. I went all the way down there. I think it's just the switch or something, yeah. Anyway. Lawrence's human skull is in here. It's like the texture is here, but if you try to load it, it doesn't work because it says it's trying to load on this model. And like Lawrence's skull's on this altar, but it's an item. It's not an actual model. You just see the item thing. So I think what happened is they overwrote the model with this one. So I'm seeing if I can track down like a rip of the game that's 1.0 before the DLC, so I can see like the stuff they changed. That's the corpse we put the eye pendant in. And there's the beast. Let's go down here.
Alright. The beast hiding underneath.
Yeah. What's the altar again? That's the central column from the hall that spins around.
Somebody's asking if the corpse being studied is supposed to be the orphan.
No, because no one knows about the orphan at this point. It's meant to be like... The whole thing is loaded again. It's like this big symbolic thing about the church. So like... It's like that's... You have like Lawrence and the doctors and they're treating a patient. But then the secret of that is that they're treating the patient and the beast is underneath. So it's like Lawrence and the doctors are like protecting you from the lurking beast. But the secret of the altar is that you put the pendant in the head, and the pendant is the eye. So it's like what they're really doing is that they're trying to get the eyes to grow inside the heads, but only members of the church know that.
Whoa, that's deep, Richie. Good job.
I didn't get no degrees for nothing. So this is the second biggest object in the game, and it's just the research hall stairs. It's like almost
fancy stairs.
Here's the altar again. This would be the altar that rises up from, like, that has Lawrence's item skull on it, but not his actual skull. What's this? This is a big one. Oh yeah, there's the lumen wood in the middle of the garden. Yeah. There's the elevator. That's Maria's corpse.
No.
Yeah. What's this underneath? Ludwig was here? Oh my god, Sin, you were right the whole time.
Right on.
That's Brado's corpse. What else we got? I don't know why there's an object version. Oh no, yeah, that's the dead guy outside Brado's cell, of course. And this is going to be the church servant. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the corpse in the research hall. Hang on. This. I assume this is just like an early collision model or something of the spiral stairs inside the hall.
Oh.
Probably that as well. This is. That's the. Oh no, we're in the. This is. Oh, okay, yeah, we're at the tail. Okay, no, we're in the hamlet now. This is the start of the hamlet. So this is the elevator inside the lighthouse. You take down to Orphan.
Oh, we're already there? Huh.
Yeah.
Great.
That'd be the switch for the elevator. That's one of the boats that's got the dead people in it. Snail woman shell.
Is this where the snail ladies live?
Yep, here's one.
Oh, hello.
I guess these are the ones that are just hanging from the parasite farm.
And so she looks different from the princess that Lance found.
Yeah, they're it's the same like concept, but it's a different design.
Okay.
Yeah. More of them. Well, we almost made it to the end. Oh, hang on, what's with this? This is dead, Simon. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, I never got to tell them that it was Ludwig.
He did in the cut content. He was like, Ludwig, Maria.
He did.
Remember?
Yes.
Remember when you told me?
Yes.
And you knew I was right all along about everything?
Yep. You are the true oracle.
Thank you.
So after this we can start going through map objects, or okay, we'll take a vote. We can start going through map objects where there's a lot of them but they're less interesting, or we can start going through like enemies we couldn't normally load.
Enemies.
Okay, enemies. I'll do that. That might not work out. I'll just see if it's doable. There's Orphan of Koz's like weird placenta scythe, which is loading as a an object, and I don't know why, like, because it's just attached to the model. I don't know why you'd want it to be separate, but anyway.
Maybe he has a backup placenta type.
A backup placenta. And Koz should be in here. I think she's this one. Because people were asking, there's Koz.
Oh, hello.
So people were asking, like, can we see Koz in the model viewer? Because they figured she'd be, like, an entity. And she's not. She's, like, just, like, a static sort of, like, obviously because she's dead. She's completely static. She's just, like, here. So
can we see her face?
Yeah. I can show you Koz's texture, actually. The texture of her face, because I was showing some people and they were like, damn, who is this babe? And I'm like, it's Koz. There's Koz. So now I'm gonna try Wonder if I can do it. If I can't do it, I'll do it another time, so I don't want to have to, like, convert everything again. Will I be able to open the character files? Let's try. See if DCX files work. No. I don't know if this is going to work out. I might have to convert them to another format. Yeah, don't worry. We'll try this another time.
Okay.
We'll go to the...
Hi, Mike. Welcome.
Hey.
Also, hi, everyone. If this is your first time on the stream, don't be shy. Feel free to say hi.
So this is the one where there's 9,523 objects. And this is like the static things that are part of the maps. So they're not like things that can move. They're just chunks. So like here's the tombstones for the Nightmare Frontier. Like the ones
Richie, you know how some tombstones are like bleeding or whatever?
Oh, the ones in the Frontier, yeah.
Yeah. What does this represent?
Well, it's that the Frontier's made of like blood. And you can like if you crack it open, there's like blood underneath.
Okay.
Were you hoping for something else?
No, thank you. That's good.
You sound disappointed.
I was thanking you.
Okay. Oh yeah, here's the workshop.
Oh, yeah. You see, that's the thing I was talking about. The little roof on top. What is that?
It's a little roof.
Like, what is this for? Is it just hollow?
It's just to let light in, I guess. Well, there's nothing in it. Well, the interior is a separate object. So, like...
Okay.
But you'll notice, like, it's backwards. Like, the doors are on the wrong side. All these objects have the axis inverted, and I don't know why. I could run them through it again to get the axis right, but that would take another 7.5 hours.
That's okay.
Oh, thank you.
We'll use our imagination. Oh my god!
That's okay.
Oh!
Here's the interior. And you can see, like, that you can't see up to the thing. It's like there's just a roof. Yeah. So there's where the...
Yes, you may say hi even if you're not new. Yeah.
See, there's just lots of, like, stuff.
That's the fireplace?
Yeah. See, what I mean, like, every part of the map is here, including just, like... If it's on the map, it's here, so there's a lot of them. So it's just, like, here's the, like... Here's this bookshelf, here's this other bookshelf. Here's a clean look at the workshop bench.
This is cool, I like this.
Yeah. This is... So this is something Lance saw when he was doing no-clip. He no-clipped through the ground and he saw that under this shares assets with the workshop, like the Waking World one. That under the workshop there's this. It's like you can't tell here because there's no texture, but like that has a broken texture on it, like all smashed up.
Okay.
And it's where you get the Maria's hair clip from.
Okay.
But then underneath it there's these, and they're not broken. So there was at some point you could like switch out a broken version of the cabinet for an unbroken one, but we're not sure.
So like, you have to break the cabinet, or
it might have been a flashback. I don't know.
Oh.
Here's the tree that Gurman waits under. Which were like, well, what's the story of the great tree? I'm like, I think it's just a big tree. There's no, like, secret of the tree.
It's a weird-looking tree. It looks like, I don't know, like a tree with tentacles or something.
Well, it's because they haven't applied the bark texture to it. Because, like I was saying, a lot of the models look very flat, but then they do, like, normal mapping to give them
what
a
if
sense of
it's
depth.
the moon presence pretending to be a tree?
Well, it very well could be. So there's the branches that you like combine them, so you'd stick those on the tree, and then I think these are the leaves. Are those the roots of the tree? So if we want, and I will do this later on, we can like import all these files separately into like Blender, and then stick them back together again, and actually like rebuild. Like here we are. There's the statue at the back of the workshop. More tree roots. Oh yeah, okay, I'm going to skip the rest of this because it's all just like gigantic files. Like I wonder what this is. It's all grass. It's all grass and rocks for the dream. Yes.
The road drifter said, But what if you were to count every branch to find out how long the hunt has been going? Classic.
Blocked and reported. Oh, what else is here?
Hi, Matzo. Welcome.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, so it's just like, it goes on forever. It's just leaves and rocks and grass for the hunter's dream. And it's not in any kind of order or context. So hang on, we can count the tombstones to see how long the hunt's been going. They're all here. So I think I'll leave the hunter's dream now because the number of bushes is sending me insane, and go to Hemwick.
Okay.
This is where the cool stuff is. There's legitimately interesting shit in Hemwick. So
is this a
yeah.
Gibson?
Oh yeah, but that's at the very start. Like you see that it's near the land.
Yeah.
That's where the eyeball is. So we can finally get a good look at like the Hemwick ovens, which you can't see normally. Like they're too far away and they're obscured.
Wait, where are the ovens usually?
They're in the distance. You can see like the smoke comes out of the chimney.
Oh.
So yeah, they're actual like fully modeled crematorium ovens. You can see like, where are we? Like there's you close them up. You put the body on that. Put the body on that thing. It goes in. Close the door.
Oh damn, that's.
Yeah, there's like a little control there to like adjust the heat and
Oh my god.
yeah, and there's a little the chimney that.
Why didn't they make them like closer so we could see them in game?
I don't know. You might have been intended to see them early, and then they changed Hemwick's design. But yeah, this is our first like really good look at the crematorium ovens.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm looking for is, I don't even know what that is. There's just a lot of like random rocks in Hemwick, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So people are talking about Bloodborne mods in the chat, and like, I mean, people have been modifying ROMs, and like you can get, you know, mods of PS1 games. So I'm expecting like at some point some obsessive is gonna try modding stuff back. I'm guessing like they will try modding shit back into Demon Souls at some point to get the missing Archstone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because like that map still exists. It's just not used. If you gave it collision back, okay, this is not.
Oh,
used.
this is cool. What is that?
It's an elevator, but like it's not the elevator that we use, because the one we use is like a lot simpler than this. This is like a real like complicated one. I think
Where
they
does it
actually.
lead?
I don't know. Well, it doesn't lead anywhere. There's nothing under it.
No. I mean, show me the top of it.
My voice sounds different. I don't know.
Sounds different from podcasts or from streams? Because for podcasts, everybody gets a super cool makeover. So
this is like unprocessed. I'm kind of croaking because I'm quite close to the mic. I'm just like talking into it.
Yeah,
I can sit back here and talk calmly if you'd like. So yeah, you see this in the distance.
That's neat.
But like you never actually use it as an elevator.
That's really cool. I like this.
Yeah. There's all the corpses for the road.
Wow.
There's some really neat details once we get to the fences. Promise it's impossible to tell what's what because I haven't written it down. There's just tons of just rocks. Oh my god.
You know what this makes me think of? That psych test where you gotta see something in the ink.
What, the Rorschach test?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Lambo. What do you see in this picture? Yes.
People say my calm voice is scaring them. It's 12:55 p.m. and you're listening to Sinclair Lore. Oh yeah, I'm just like croaking into a mic right now. I haven't done anything. It might just be the mic settings are different. Because we did this sort of like... I just said, hey, I've got the assets. Do you want to stream? Yes. Oh, yeah, here's the crossing.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
Neat.
Ish. Again, lots of just random bits of ground. There's when you're like approaching Hemwick through the little forest, and there's that altar in the distance. You can see there's like guys around a fire. It's there. Again, a lot of... I suspect that little wooded area was like redesigned at the last minute because there's a lot of just like... It's like they patched it together from pieces.
It was reborn. Thank you, Reggie.
Alright. I sound softer in this video than normal. Okay. I'm kind of whispering. I'm just like huddled over the microphone with a cat.
Oh.
I promise this gets good.
It's already good, Richie.
Actually, does this ever show up? I don't think it does. Because this, like, that looks like a tunnel. Oh, no, I get, yeah, this is behind the house where the woman talks about graveyard murmurs. You go up the stairs and there's like a madman's knowledge here, and then, yeah, the lift is there. Yeah, you can see it goes up through there, never mind.
Yeah.
There is some unused geometry in Hemwick, I promise. We're going to do a big reveal about Witch's Abode, but I can't remember what ID number it is. There we go. This is the lift we actually use. This is the one that takes you up to where the crows are.
Oh, it looks like the other one.
Well, no, but it's like it's a slightly different, like it's less fancy, basically.
Yeah,
And the lift platform itself isn't like an enclosed one.
Hi, Scholar. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh yeah, here's the road people always ask about.
Which road?
The road you can see from Hemwick. You can see there's like a road with a tunnel, but you never go on it, and we don't know where it leads. But here it is. Here's the model of it.
Almost heaven. Hemwick journaling.
Yeah. Thank you. It was beautiful.
Country road, take me home. Did you know that I really love Fallout?
I had got the impression.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Richie doesn't sound as deep as he normally does, like he figured out how to reverse puberty. Oh, you know, you never know. But, I think it's just that I'm not, like... There's no post-production work being done. So
yeah, because when we do the podcasts, we, like, fancify everything. So... Yeah, I sound less annoying. Richie sounds even cooler than he already is, even though we didn't think it was possible.
Hey, baby.
There we go.
The rest of the stream is Barry White. Oh, yeah.
There's the other side.
It reminds me of Skull Monkeys.
The other side of the
Richie, I have to stream Skull Monkeys for you. It's like my favorite game, and I haven't.
Yeah.
And you haven't played it? Yeah.
Okay, people want to know like if that leads anywhere, but
yes.
It doesn't. You can see like the collision, not the collision, like the mesh. There's just a dead end and it stops. And there's nothing.
You know what you have to do? Remember Roadrunner? You have to draw the tunnel on the wall, and then you can run through it.
This way I sound like a sexy cowboy now. Yeah. I promise this gets good.
It's already good!
No, it's not. This is just random bits of fence. Hang on.
Excellent!
The most removed stuff is in Hemwick, because it was like the first area other than the dream that they did, and it's obviously much more complex. There's like straight up like a model of somewhere I've never seen before. Like I have no idea what it is. Oh, hang on. This is cool. This is
America's Next Top Model?
This is the statue of the woman with the trowel thing that they use for the
Uh-huh.
the burning bodies. And like she's not there early on. Early on it's just like a pile of graves. Like it just looks like that. You don't see her.
Mm-hmm.
But there she is, and if you go underneath you can see that like her model actually extends downward. Like they made a So I don't know, like if we put this in Blender we could actually just extract that model and look at it separately without the stones in the way.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just using this to like preview them. I can do stuff with them later on. God, there's a lot of tombstones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it a bit before, but like what's it used for? Okay, this is for Last and First Man. The tool that she's holding. Where is it? I've lost it. Back up here a bit. Oh no. Come back. Come back, Grandma. I can't find it. I've lost it. Anyway, the tool that she's holding, it's just like because they no, it's not a farming tool. It's because they burn the bodies there. Oh, here it is. Right. It's just used to move ashes and things around. Like it's like a trowel. So like you notice when you fight the women in Hemwick that they have that, it's always red hot. It's because they're using it to like stoke the fires and move the ashes and things around. So it's like burning hot. That's all it is. It's just because Hemwick's a big crematorium. So it's like a tool to move fires with, basically, to treat the fires.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I really liked that video you did on Hemwick when I saw it.
That was the only good one I've
day.
ever done, and a lot of it's wrong.
No. Oh, no, you did all of your videos.
I completely missed the fact that Hemwick's matriarchal.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I was talking to Autumn, because Autumn found me through you. And I was saying like, yeah, I don't think I really did anything that good until I worked with Sin. And she's like, yeah, you didn't. I'm like, good.
I love Autumn. Oh my god,
she's right.
Autumn right now, out of context. Where is Autumn?
No, she's right.
Autumn.
She's right.
I'm gonna go to her server. I want this to be public. At Autumn. I just wanted to say I love you very much.
Good. We all love Autumn. Autumn is the best.
Yeah. She's best girl.
She is.
Did you know that Autumn was one of the few people who was here before you even joined?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There you go. There you go.
There's a bunch of ones here that are just like 2 kilobytes of junk, so I'm guessing they like maybe wiped something. Same with the models. A lot of the models you find are just like they'll just be like a straight line, and it's used. I think it's used for ray casting or something. Oh, here we go. This is cool. So this is the obviously we recognize this. It's the door we used to get into Hemwick Ride. I never realized this. If you go to the top, it's like actually got like battlements on it.
Actually got what?
Like
Sorry?
battlements on it. Like you can walk along it and there's like steps and things. And that
This reminds me of something from Demon Souls.
Yeah, odd that it reminds you of something from Demon Souls. And that continues on with the other part. Like you could hypothetically like walk all the way along this wall if it were accessible. Like they made that.
Oh, that's so
yeah, and
cool.
it's these. If you look at it, it's these like it kind of looks like Lordran, like these big encircling like round walls that sort of go along.
Yeah. What is that?
There's just random chunks of geometry. Yeah, it's just like mountains and dirt and stuff. I'm trying to find. There's the bridge that we take to get to the little like the farmhouse thing with the horses. I'm trying to find. There's like. Oh god, I'm just like building up to this thing that I promise is interesting when we find it, but I don't know what file it is. And I'm really worried I've gone past it. I don't think I have, though. I wrote it down in another server, so if we absolutely can't find it, I can look for it there. This is all grass. That's just rock, I think. Basically, we can see the old Witch's Abode layout properly for like the first time. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is Hemwick. You ready?
Uh-huh.
So, keeping in mind, like, it's reversed. Like, the y-axis is inverted. So, like, that's the path we take up to Witch's Abode. There's Witch's Abode. And, like, there's, like, where we get in, right? So then behind Witch's Abode, there is... Zoom in. There's a little, there's like some stairs out the back of Witch's Abode. Oh no, you're not too late, Last Sigil. We actually just got to the good part. So like, there's the back of there's like the back of Witch's Abode. It's like there's the lakes there. You can make it out. It's like off to the side of Witch's Abode there is a staircase. Like, and it goes down, and like this is not in, and then underneath Witch's Abode. Like, if we clip inside it, there's like a path that goes underground.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's like a whole underground area here. And I don't...
What's
like,
underground?
We don't know, because it just stops.
Oh my god, Rich,
Yeah.
you have to figure this out.
I don't know, but like, yeah, you can see that they, like... There's just all this stuff here. Like, it has a back entrance.
Wow.
I know.
Shit, amazing.
There's even more stuff. Keep looking. There's another distance model of like something. Okay, here's Witch's Abode. Like, that's again keeping it's reversed. So like, there's obviously like we go in there and then the entire gigantic building is just like that. But like here's where it is. Like, there's a Wandering Madness up in the roof that drops down. We're into the like decent stuff now, because we can sort of see. Here's all the, like, stuff for the witch's room.
So, what is the point of those, like, beds or whatever?
Because, the witch is, like, taking all the bodies there. And, like, taking them apart for the ritual materials.
So they put them on the beds? They can just put them on the floor? Or they...
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Oh.
I guess it's meant to, invoke, like, when you go to the research hall. There's like all the people on beds there, so you're like, oh, I see Hemwick is doing the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So this is all like the chunks of geometry for the witch's room. There is another layout. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is interesting. So like when you come into the witch's room for the first time, the door that you come in from, it's like on like one side of the wall, like in the corner, and then the place you go to get the rune workshop tool, it's like in the center. But this is like, it's like a different layout because you've got the door.
Wait, sorry, say that again. I'm like,
you know when you're fighting the Witch of Hemwick, which you claim is your favorite boss, right?
Oh my god!
No, that wasn't because you were like, the Witch of Hemwick is my favorite boss, and then we got to phase 2, and you were like, what? There's another phase. You know how like you come in and you're on like you don't arrive in the center of the room, you arrive off to the right hand side. Yeah. This is a different layout where you've got like the door that you come in from, it's in the exact center of the room. And then directly across from it there is this huge like brick archway that you don't see at all.
Oh.
So like I'm guessing this is maybe what led to that underground passageway or something. Cause it's like this big, it almost looks like a Chalice Dungeon. It's like this big sort of like old sort of falling to pieces brick archway. So a lot of stuff like that here. This is the door we use normally. See how it's like on one side and then you pop through and the witch is on the other side.
Yeah.
But this is like an alternate version where it's in the exact center. So like they definitely like they hacked this place up and bits of it are still like left here. Obviously, I think the beds are left over from when it was St. Laura.
Yeah. Do you want to tell people briefly about St. Laura?
Okay, so Amelia, the character we know as Amelia, she started out as a character called St. Laura. who would have been fought in the room the witch is fought in now. And I think the idea is for Saint Laura is like they were just throwing her corpses for her to feed on. Something like that. That would make more sense. Is it just a ton of bodies?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find something more interesting. Oh, there's the ones hanging from the ceiling. Here we go. This is like, again, Saint Laura. You can see like there's a lot of church stuff in here. Because she would have been like a saint.
I can't remember if this statue shows up in the game.
She's in there, yeah. This is in there. This is like
in the witch's
it's
room?
like the roof. Like this is really high up. It's not on the floor. Again, there's the path we take to where the rune tool is. More archways. More archways. Archways. Yeah, Saint Laura was in the game up until like at least the alpha. So we're talking like they changed it from Saint Laura to Vicar Amelia like with like 6 months maybe to go to release. Here's the weird part. Right. The hell is this? This looks like a distance model from Dark Souls or something, and for all we know, it might be.
Oh my god!
But like, this is just in there, and I don't know what it is. Because you just have, it's like this. It's hard to tell with distance models because they're very, very simple. But this does look, it's too like geometrically neat to be like a cavern. It looks like an aqueduct or something.
I know what this is.
What is this?
You know how like in Montreal we have different neighborhoods and like there's like a Russian neighborhood. So this is like the Dark Souls neighborhood in Bloodborne. Yeah.
So you can see like there's like there's ladders. So like there's ladders that go up from this like this might people asking is it the sewers. This might have been a really early idea for like the Yharnam aqueducts. You can see like there's ladders that go down and then ladders that go up, so you'd be able to go in and out of this thing and like cross the sides. And then this door here, like there's a little door you could go through. So, but I have no idea what this is. It doesn't match anywhere in the game that I can think of, or anywhere in previous games. It's just it's just like floating there, and I'm wondering if it, like, clearly it's like unfinished. I'm wondering if it's a test or something. That said, I'm wondering if like maybe this is like, maybe like one of the buildings in Hemwick was going to have a back to it, and you could like go down. And actually, look at that. There's a little like. This model is really small, so zooming around it is very fiddly. Yeah, there's like you could go out that door, up, and into that one. So like you can sort of see the progression that they were maybe going for, but I don't know what this is. And then where else is here?
What is this?
That's the. It's in the game. It's like when you're arriving in Hemwick, you like go down sort of like a little spiral stair, and this is like a silo full of bodies. Again, like you'd recognize this. Like you just go round and down, and then like outside that door, there's like the executioners and the
okay.
The gate you open. More bodies. Hemwick is just going to be like more bodies. And yeah, like this is just chunks of the map. I'm looking for the distance model of Cainhurst, because that is in here somewhere. Actually, we can get a better look at like some parts of Hemwick. You can see there's just like windows and doors and stuff that you never actually go and see up close. You just wander around the roofs. Should we explain what distance models, like how they generate them? Because people are, I think, wondering about how they work.
Yeah, please.
So the way that people are like, oh, I can't believe From made models of all the distant places, and like they didn't do it by hand. It's procedural. Basically, what they do is it's called a raycast, and like people probably know what they are, but I'll just go over it. A raycast is like if you imagine shining like a torch at something, it's that. Like, you basically fire all these rays out, and then everything the rays hit is rendered automatically. So what's happening is, like, they start a raycast from an area, and then it'll go out, it'll hit, like, everywhere in the original map, and then it'll just say, okay, render this stuff, but do it in low detail. So that's why you get these, like, very detailed distance maps, because it's all done with a raycast. Hey, Autumn's here. Hello.
Hi, Autumn.
More trees. There's the that's where you go through. That's where, like, there's like a Hemwick woman on one side who ambushes you as you go through. I'm trying to find the Cainhurst model because it is in here somewhere. It's in Hemwick because they never scrubbed it.
Oh my god, Autumn's making it? What is it?
What is it? Car Souls?
Car Soul?
Car Souls. Autumn wanted to make a game that was called Car Souls, that was like Dark Souls with cars, because you don't have to animate them walking. They just drive around.
That's amazing.
Oh, good. She's
What
not
is
sick
this,
anymore.
Richie?
This is
Yay.
a little. This is. I think you can see this in the distance in a few places, because I recognize those. Those always freaked me out because they looked like eyes.
Yeah, that's what I just thought.
Yeah.
Are they eyes?
Well, it's a house.
A house with eyes?
Oh, it's a little game jam thing. Okay. So yeah, this is like. I think these are just used to bulk out the backgrounds.
Is it jam you can put in a sandwich?
I'm sure you could find a way. Oh, here we go. This is like chunks of Witch's Abode, I think. Because if we look in... There's like a Witch's Abode interior. Here we go. Yeah. There's like... That's the back of Witch's Abode. Like, finally. Normally you can't... This is like something you can see from some, like, distance models, but otherwise no.
It looks really, really fancy.
Yeah, I think this isn't even in the game. Like, you don't see it. They just never load this chunk of it. But there you go. That's the back of Witch's Abode.
Would it be facing Cainhurst?
Yeah, that's Cainhurst is like over there.
Okay. So this is why it's fancy, because the queen's like, I gotta stare in that direction all day, so I'm gonna put something fancy there. Yeah.
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 So you can see, like, it's got two exits. It's got, like, a back exit on the ground and then a top exit, which is like a balcony.
The monster house.
So I guess, like, we should talk about how, the reason it has, like, that top thing is that when they first conceptualized it, the idea was that you would chase Mikolash to Hemwick, like he wouldn't be dead in your Huggle, and he'd be on I guess that balcony. He'd be up there, and then
Wait, where would you chase him from?
I think you're just following. He's kind of like Logan in Dark Souls, where he just show up in different places. Oh, she's making a dungeon crawl! Yay!
Woo! Hype.
Oh yeah, you were telling me you wanted to work on like a pixely RPG thing, and I sent you all those screenshots of like Lennis, because it's like this like RPG that's entirely like pastel and flowers everywhere, and no one remembers it. But I think it's like it's your aesthetic, it's your energy. So anyway, you'd chase Mikolash here. He'd be on the balcony, and then he would jump off the balcony into the lake behind Cainhurst. And then you would follow him into the lake, and that's what would lead to the Nightmare Frontier. Like with Rom.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Autumn's plan is the game starts out boring and gets cuter the deeper you go. That's beautiful.
Oh, okay, that's amazing. I love it.
So it's like the opposite of every other indie game that starts out cute, and then it's like, you actually killed a baby. It's like, oh, I'm reflecting on my actions. Yeah, so, and then, like, that's why the Mikolash boss fight is literally him running. Because it's a relic of when he was literally running away from you the whole game. What else we got? Okay, okay, this is the part where I'm like, okay, I think I got it. Let's go inside.
Well, so Autumn already has some games finished, by the way.
She does, yeah.
I'm...
itch.io/girlsoftware.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like,
So
it's
this is
it's girlsoftware.com.
girlsoftware.com. I think that's got a redirect to their Itch store.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, here's the inside of Witch's Abode, which you never ever see, and it's mostly like not rendered, obviously, because I think they junked the actual interior, like the proper interior model. But you can see over here, there is like finicky controls. There's this like a platform there, and then there's like a hole in the wall, and I'm guessing that is from. Yeah, there's like it's like a corridor with like a platform and a hole in the wall and stuff. So I'm guessing this is like you could originally like walk around inside here before they made Hemwick a lot less complicated. Here's like the other side of Witch's Abode. You can see like it looks like there was an interior. I don't think it's recoverable, but it existed. There's again like more Witch's Abode. It's cool to see because you only ever see it from the outside. Like from like ground level. So this is like finally looking. You can see stuff like growing through the roof. It's a really nicely designed like old rotting building that they never really. I don't know. They don't really do much with it. Oh yeah, there's. I think that's the one they use in the witch's room. Yeah. More of there's a lot of them are just like pieces of building. Trying to find Cainhurst. It is in here, I promise. Oh, Gwen, yeah. Yeah, I've seen her on the server. Where are we going? Good God. Okay, hang on, we're getting there, because these are the mountains in the distance. So, Cainhurst should be around this chunk somewhere. Okay, here's more Witch's Abode, I think. Or this is just a distant model of something. Actually, I think that's just a house. Yeah, this is just like random Hemwick geometry. Oh no, this is maybe this is Cainhurst. Hang on, there's like a really recognizable chunk of Cain. Oh, okay, these are the platforms they added when they removed Laura and put the witch here. It's like that's like why they're like light in it. They're like nowhere near the other files. Hi, Autumn.
Oh, thanks for coming, Autumn.
Yeah, we love you.
I love you, Autumn, more than Reggie.
What was that noise I just heard?
Nothing.
Here's the barn with the dead horses in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. More of the barn with the dead horses in it.
Oh my God.
Well, because it's all in pieces. Like every floor's got to have its own like interior and exterior model. There's the hay bales. Here's like a really, really basic like corpse on a pole. I guess this is like for collision or something. It's like one of the really early ones. Oh, unless that's the distance model of the corpse or something. Might be that. Come on. Where are you? I promise there's a castle here. There it is. Found it. Okay. So this is Cainhurst is in pieces.
Oh wow.
So again, what I'm going to do some point after this is I'm going to import chunks of these chunks into Blender and then reassemble them so we can get it. But like, this is Cainhurst. You can see like it is a very different layout that we actually keeping in mind this is reversed. So like,
So this is where we can you guide us, like where we enter
yeah, I
and where
can,
we
but it's
go?
so small, it's really hard to like control on a like fine level. So like, there's where we go in. Keeping in mind this is reversed. So and also like parts of it are missing because it's only partial. So like,
Huh.
let's go out here. So like, there's the bridge, and then
Mm-hmm.
so like, because it's reversed, the hall, like the dining hall with the ghost, is over this side in this model. It's like over here. You can see like that's presumably like that's where we'd come out from the ghosts. Like you'd run out, like the halls there, you run out the back. Turn around. It's kind of irritating to navigate. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, they're still here. Like there's the door you go through, and then you go up. They modeled all of it. Okay, you go up here. And like there's go through here. There's like where the Lost Sons of Antiquity are. There's the tower with one on it. Go through here. There's another door, and then that would lead you to. This is like the hallway where you fight the guy with the rapier. You pop out the other side, and then like the rest of the model's not there, but kind of is because the rest of it's here. So basically, we can stick these two models back together. I'm not going to do it next, it'll take a long time. We can stick them back together and actually get a proper like look at what the castle used to be. You can see like there's obviously where we fight Ligarius. You can see that there's no like the idea of the ladder that goes up to Ligarius isn't there. There's the roof that you drop off, but like there's no like that very long path you take around to Ligarius isn't there. Yeah. So like, there's a lot to. The interiors aren't done because, like I said, because it's done with a ray cast. If it hits a wall, it just stops. So interiors weren't done unless like you could see like around the corner, basically. Yeah. Let's keep. There's more here. We can keep looking around. Yeah. So like, I keep looking at things, thinking, is that in there? Okay. So like, there's the lift here. Yeah, where it's so fiddly like this close up because it's a tiny model. There's the come back. Oh, now you work. Okay. So there's the lift shaft that you go up, and then it like takes you to where the. Oh, this is interesting. Like the lift shaft goes up, but it doesn't. I guess it goes. Yeah, it goes out there, and then like. That's where you'd run out, and then the ghost women are in here. That's the shortcut that you open up. The Valblood register is over there. We've got both sides of both sides of this building are rendered in game, but you only visit one. So like in game, you only go to like the one side, and then the other side is. I presume you could go to both originally because like. I don't know why you'd make a building with two sides and then block off all of them except block one off basically arbitrarily. It's kind of a pain to navigate, sorry. Noasis is a really good program, by the way. It's completely free. Really good 3D viewer. It's just that we're dealing with tiny models, so it's very fiddly at this scale. It's like here's inside the Cainhurst hall. There's obviously no interior because it was raycasted. And then like this is the roof where we fight Ligarius. So this is kind of neat because like my suspicion with the whole Ligarius situation, although I think this is old, but this is newish, sorry. But I suspect that the idea behind Ligarius is that you'd fight him on the roof, and then you would drop down from there into Annalise's throne room there. Like, you'd drop off the roof into where she is. And he would
like you drop into Rosaria's room or
well,
whatever.
like it's
no, you don't
it's
drop
back
into
because the way
Rosaria's
it
room.
works.
Never mind.
Yeah, the way it works now is that there's the path that leads around from this building. Like there's that like turret that goes out, and then you drop down, and then you go up the little upper ladder on the side, go there, and then run along there, and then Ligarius is in the middle. You fight him, and then there's just magically the rest of it appears. But I suspect it was originally the other way. You would fight Ligarius from that direction, and then you would drop down there. The reason I'm swinging around wildly is because it's a tiny model, so like the slightest pressure on the mouse sends that just flying. Like this is really, really small. I guess I could, like, if I put it in Blender, I can make it bigger. I can just like get the scale values and make them bigger. What else is here? That's like the rocks near Cainhurst. Oh yeah, there's Yharnam seen from Hemwick. How come the models are small? Because these are the ones you see in the distance. Like this isn't actually Cainhurst. It's when you're in Hemwick and you look across the lake. A castle for ants! That was Bug Scholar.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, so this is the old cathedral design you can see from Hemwick. And it's odd because, like, that's up a Cathedral Ward, but it's, like, at the back of the building instead of the middle of it. And, you know, like I was saying, these models were made, like, before they updated some of the maps, so you get a better sense of how they all fit, how they used to fit together. There's Upper Cathedral Ward, the old version. You can see it's like differently arranged because it's hard to say. Where am I? It's hard to orient yourself based on nothing. So like, keeping in mind it's backwards. Yeah, like that. That there is like that's the make contact balcony. But it's facing like the opposite direction. Like the that's the side of the Bloom and Flower Gardens. And it would be facing like so Yharnam would be this way. Like the clock face is sort of here. But in this version, like the make contact gesture balcony, which is usually facing the rest of Yharnam, is over here. And I don't know what the deal is. It might have been like... Because, I mean, that wouldn't mean it was facing Hemwick.
Mm-hmm.
And Hemwick is where Mikolash would jump in the lake, so I'm wondering if, like, the red moon was somehow connected to that. You can't get to the interior, sadly. It's all gone. Because of the raycast doesn't hit the interior. Yeah. What else is here? Yeah, that is, I think, just... How come the models are reversed? I actually don't know why they're reversed. I converted them all yesterday. It may just be like something finicky I've done, but it took 7.5 hours to convert them all, so I don't really want to do it again, just to get them the right way around. Okay, here's all the random Hemwick assets. This is cool.
Oh, that's neat.
So we can look and we can see, like, there's, like, we've seen a lot of this already.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's some stuff here we haven't, because it's only in this, like, sort of place that they stuck everything together. That door, I'm pretty sure, is not in Hemwick at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, we've got that statue with no head, got a dead horse. What I'm interested in... Oh, these? Hang on. I don't think... Do we use those? I think they replaced the tombstone models later on, so those seem different. There's the dead bodies. They're the ones you'd know. They're in Project Beast. They're in Hemwick still now, but they're like the first things you see in Project Beast. And what I'm really looking here is... Here's my boy. Is this. So this... What's a knight? Oh yeah, last and first man, Hemwick is a crematorium. Like like still in the game. They just don't like call it that. They call it the charnel lane for some reason, but it's a crematorium. So this is a very like Demon Souls looking knight who's just kind of in here. In game, it loads, but it doesn't have a texture. So this is, I think, the first time seeing it like properly. Like you can see where the actual like shadows would fall.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. So this is from when it was like way more like a Demon Souls kind of successor. Most of the cut stuff I've seen is knights, basically. What else is here? Oh, well, we've only been going for 2 hours.
Intense.
This is just, again, like more random Cainhurst Hemwick stuff. I think it's another. Is that part of Witch's Abode again? It's all like in pieces, so it's sort of hard to tell what a lot of things are. I will get around to I'll try reassembling some of these. Okay, so we're in this is map 23, which is Cathedral Ward, Central Yharnam. Oh no, map 23 is Old Yharnam, sorry. So I went through most of Old Yharnam. There's really nothing new there that I hadn't seen before. There's just like chunks of building, like you recognize like where you get shot by Dura. I'll poke through and see if I can find like the Church of the Good Chalice. This is actually, it's a good view of the little like Old Yharnam buildings that they made. That they just used to pad it out. You get a decent look at the sewers actually. Because they made like, when I first saw it I thought, is this a removed like level? But it's not, they just really detailed sewers. Like if you look at the sewers you'd think you could actually navigate them, but you can't. It's like here's the, again reversed, but like here's the house where like the beasts are sleeping, and when you run through one bursts out of that door to grab you. Yeah, they put a lot of work into Old Yharnam, and it's like, it's pretty much, I don't think they changed. They changed like the orientation of it, but they didn't seem to change the level much. I'm just looking for suspiciously large files to see if any of them are the Church of the Good Chalice, because we can see the statues there. The weird grave with the flower. Yeah, the weird grave with the flower is in Hemwick. We showed that off earlier, so like when this is finished processing, you'll be able to see it all. Yeah, again, like this is all we know, all this stuff. It's not new. And there's just like the parts of that you can see from a distance. Like this is like the big walls that you see, like in the distance around Old Yharnam. It's just so much grass.
Yeah, I think I should go now because I work tomorrow and
Okay.
it's approaching midnight.
Okay, you be sleep well, little potato. And
Thank you, little one.
I'll
Yeah,
see you
thanks
tomorrow.
everyone.
Yeah, I'll keep going till we're done.
Awesome. And then we can do Objects of Bloodborne.
In theory, yeah.
One object per episode.
Well, that's Elden Ring may actually be out by the time we finish that. You never know.
Yeah. Alright, well thank you very much, Richie. You're the best as usual.
No, you.
Thank you, everyone. No, you.
Autumn.
Thank you, everyone. And I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I'm gonna fly solo for now. It's just some, again, like there's lots of random stairs. I actually think, yeah, here we go. Like this is the broken stairwell that you take from Cathedral Ward to Old Yharnam. Oh, here we go. We're in the Church of the Good Chalice now. So here's the big altar. Like in like the bodies behind it with the antidote capsules. So this, yeah, it's more of the church. I'm trying to find the weird statues. We can get a look at those. Oh my god, how many churches do you need? Oh yeah, here's another skybox. Like, that's the old Yharnam skybox. You see, like, there's the different layers of sky, and there's the moon. Here's, like, the wrapped up statues. Oh yeah, here's the really, really weird old Yharnam gargoyles. There's a lot of these. Do you ever, like, old Yharnam's gargoyles are, like, they're totally different to anywhere else in the rest of the game. In terms of, like, the aesthetics of them. I think because old Yharnam's, like, literally, it's old. It's, like, an older architectural style. So you can see, like... these ones, like... I think these are probably based on real gargoyles. Because, like, the idea of a gargoyle is, like... It's just a fancy water spout when they started. So a lot of gargoyles, like, older gargoyles, have these really massive... these massive mouths, because the water would come out like a spout. There's a lot of just, like, statues of people in pain here. Come on, I want my, like, weird ones. Oh, here we go, like, these ones here. This is, like, this character is repeated throughout the game. And people ask, oh, is that, like, is it Erden? Is it one of the great ones? I think it's just, like, a dude with a beard, because you see it everywhere. Here it is again. Here we go. These are, like, the really weird statues in the church. Like, they have, like, this guy's got a massive chin and a massive nose. Oh, I'm pretty sure, like, the look of it does come from, like... from just them going to churches and seeing other statues of Jesus everywhere. It's similar to, like, in Dark Souls, there's all the churches have statues of that woman in them, and people are like, ooh, significant, is it Gwyn's wife? And, like, I'm pretty sure they just went to churches, noticed they all had statues of Mary in them, and copied the aesthetic. So yeah, like, if you know the pig that we showed off yesterday, very, very similar look, like with the really big nose. So I think these guys are turning into that pig thing. But then they removed the pig thing, it's not in the game anymore, so it's a bit weird. Here's the other one. This is even more transformed. It's like it's on all fours with this, like, huge, like, beard thing. And yeah, like, that nose is, like, really close to the pig's nose. It's like this huge pointed thing. This one's big. Okay, yeah, that's the door to Old Yharnam that's smashed down. Oh yeah, here we go. These are the walls. Like, when you're in Old Yharnam and you look up at Cathedral Ward, you can see these huge, like, that's where the plazas are. I think that's the side of, like, one of the buildings you can see from where Dura is. Yeah, like, I recognize these are just, like, in the distance. Old Yharnam's not got that much in it that we haven't seen before. This is Cathedral Ward, but it gets confusing because, like, Cathedral Ward is a pretty broad category. It's like a lot of this is, like, random pathways. This is, like, there's the steps. That's the steps that lead to Yahagul. Yeah, like, there's parts of... I think that's what you can see that from, like... Is it the path to... A lot of this is, like, path to Yahagul stuff. Yeah, here we are. Those are the two buildings on the path to Yahagul. Like, it's flipped, but, like, the two hunters are over there, and, like, you can drop down onto the roof there. Okay, I've just been disconnected from the Discord call to save bandwidth. Thank you, Clyde. But yeah, like, this would be interesting to reassemble, because I think the old path is probably here. Well, I think early on this is in reference to, like, people turning into pigs. They were, like, there were all these different kinds of beasts early on. Not just, like, werewolves. There would have been, like, the pigs and these, like, ones that almost look like greyhounds. And they're sort of draconic ones. And then Because they talk about them like internally. They're called like they're devoted to things. So like the sideways mouth gug things, they're called like the devotee of the silver beast, which makes me wonder if like they were devoted to different beasts and they would like take on the characteristics of the beast they were devoted to. We've only been going for 2 hours. Wow. Must be closing in on 3 now. This is tiring. Oh, yeah, here's all the like the messenger gargoyles you see on the sides of buildings. So this is just like this is applied to those like curved walls. What's this? I don't recognize that at all. The problem is this is all just like random numbers, and all I can tell you is like what map it's on and how big it is. So I'm sort of searching through like large seeming files. Oh yeah, this is the street where is it? This is either the street underneath Cathedral Ward or it's the street where Ariana is. I think it's the one where Ariana is because there's that stairwell that you go down, and like so Ariana would be at the. They should be over there. It's confusing when you only get chunks. Yeah, there's just like little chapels and things. This is weird because it sort of looks like you could go in. A lot of the buildings, like some of them will have a door molded on, but some of them will have a gap that you could put a door on. So I'm wondering if they were sort of... They made them that way so they could decide... See, that one's just got a door. There's no way you can open it. But, like, the one we just saw... was it this one? Well, you saw it. Anyway, it's there too. Like, that has, like, an opening. So you could put a door object there and, like, actually go in and out of it. This place, I don't... Actually, that looks like the interior of the building we saw before. So, like, I don't recognize this building at all. I don't think you go in here. So, like... I used to think, is this the path you take to the elevator in Erden Chapel? Because it's like an L-shaped room, but it's not. Oh, unless this might be the inside of Gascoigne's house? It's, like, all over the place. I think I'm going to stop looking at these map objects soon, because I'm just going to keep saying there's a little chapel, there's a wall, there's some grass, there's some grass, there's some grass, there's a coffin. Because I have other stuff I can show off that's not this. This is, I imagine, is almost as boring for you as it is for me. I have, like, fucking repetitive strain injury from clicking so much. I don't know, let's go to, what is Mensis? I think Mensis is map 27. What's map 20? Map 25 is Cainhurst. Let's look at Cainhurst. Again, like, yeah, here's some more. This is like the bottom part. We're actually in the Cainhurst map now, so this isn't the distance model. So this is like the bottom of Cainhurst that you see when you're on the bridge, and you never go here. So there's no like like collision or anything. It's just there. There's the mount. Oh no, that's like the rocky outcrop that Cainhurst is on. I think, yeah, there's the So that's where we go. That's where the carriage drops us off, and then... Oh, okay, yeah. Ruthen thinks the thing I showed off is the pathway to Byrgenwerth from Cathedral Ward. It might be. I'll have another look later on when I get to reassembling. So like here's the path that's like where the portcullis would be up there. There's and like there's just the ice and stuff that fits on it. I was thinking, imagine how, like, the maps would not look anywhere near as good, but you could probably, like, save half the fucking RAM by just removing all this pointless grass everywhere. Because I remember, like, this game, the map files, like, caused a lot of headaches with the PS4, and you look at it and you're like... It's because they have, like, 10 layers of detail each. Like, here's where we would go on the carriage. Like, this is like the path we would take if the bridge still existed. Yeah, so like here's... Hang on. Like, there's the gate, and then like that there is just the ice that hangs from the gate. But yeah, like unfortunately they actually like they scrubbed Cainhurst pretty well. Like, there's not, as far as I'm aware, anything here we haven't really seen. You can just like there's the that's where you go. It's like all the statues there you go and you fight the little guy with the rapier in there and then pop out the other side. I've lost my place. Where is this? 25000000? 2500000110. Yeah, and again, like, just tons and tons of statues. It's kind of funny if you look at the concept art. There's like no statues, and then I guess like I don't know, when they gutted Cainhurst, they decided to fill in the blanks with statues. I don't know if we've skipped past it, but there's you can see like the whole lake and Hemwick in the distance is just like one big chunk of map. Oh, yeah, here we go. So these like the trees from the courtyard where the bloodlickers are. Here's the fountain. Like how I'm saying here's the fountain as if no one recognizes that. Like, oh, thanks, Richie. That is the fountain. Oh boy. Anyway, you get the picture. It's Cainhurst. Oh god, like enough. Yeah, okay. There's the statues. That's where the unopened summons is found with Annalise. Yeah, people beginning to understand why Bloodborne takes so long to load in the chat. You can actually outrun the loading. If you like move quickly enough, if you like warp in somewhere and just run, you can sometimes like run faster than the game can load assets, and you start standing in a void. This is the big tower they make a huge deal about. Like, it's always highlighted. It does nothing. There's like nothing in there. Lance is clipped inside. You don't find anything. I'm wondering if like I suspect early on this had a lift in it that led to where Ligarius is. But all I have to go off is like I don't know why it's here and it's kind of near the roof. Oh yeah, here we go. Like this is the this is what you see from Cainhurst. And I think the like if you ever like stood on the sides of Cainhurst, you can see there's like little islands with trees and things. Hey, anything interesting? I think we've passed the interesting part and now we're just looking at random shit, but you know, who knows. Again, here's the back of Witch's. This is normally how you see the back of Witch's abode. You see it from Cainhurst, but early on we showed off like the higher detail one. This is what I mean about raycasting, that like it's only seen from that side. So if you imagine there's like a torch over here and it's like it's lighting up that side of it, so that renders, but because that side wasn't hit by anything, it didn't render. That's how they do the distance models. Like here's Hemwick, back of Hemwick. And yeah, like there's where you there's like the woman with the hammer there who tries to knock you off. Yep, more of old Yharnam, which is like the old layout. There's actually, you can see like that's Cathedral Ward copied. Like the back and the side are both the same design. And look, like there's the actually this is something we kind of pointed it out, but I might as well bring it to your attention. So when you fight like Maria in the DLC, she's inside the clock face, which means the bridge that you fight her on is like there. It's the middle. Sorry, I dragged. It's the middle. There. But if you actually look at the cathedral from a distance, the bridge is way, way above. And if you went along that bridge, it looks like you would actually go on top of the clock. Like, it sort of leads up. So I'm wondering if, like... It sort of makes sense, like, dramatically, that maybe at the end you'd scale to the very top of the clock and, like, do something there to the moon. If you imagine it's, like, in front of you. Something like that. Because just design-wise, like, the bridge doesn't lead to the clock. It leads above the clock. And that's still true in the DLC. Like, if you watch it from the outside, it changes design completely. And we're back in Yharnam now. God, I'm not going to go through all of Yharnam. What is half this stuff? Yeah, like, this is just, like, random architecture. Yeah, I actually think the moon presence may have had something to do with the clock early on, because there's an unused instance of the moon presence for Upper Cathedral Ward. But it doesn't look like it was a boss. It just looks like they load the model and the object. So I'm wondering if, like... Because it's an astronomical clock. It would follow the moon. So I'm wondering if, like, you did something to the clock, and then the clock, like, interacted with the moon somehow, and then, like, the moon presence would descend that way. Because it looks like Lumen Flower Gardens was like a late part of the game. It wasn't optional, you had to go there. Yeah, there are statues of the moon presence in Upper Cathedral Ward, but, like, I don't know where they are because there's just so many files. Like, for anyone just joining us, there's 9,523 of these objects, and I don't know what any of them are. I just have to go off, like, what map they're on and how big they are, and then just, like, squint and think, it might be interesting. At some point, I will go through them all, but I don't know. Not today. Because I've slept for like 5 hours and had a blood test already. And it's my mother's birthday, so I've got to get going in like a few hours to go attend to that. The moon presence motive is it just wants a child. Like, it's not... Oh yeah, here we go. This is like the side, Actually, is this used? This looks like where you'd go up the side of the building, and then there'd be like... See, now I'm thinking, like, God, we may actually be able to reassemble, like, complete removed maps from this, but also, like, who's got the time? But yeah, the moon, as far as I can tell, it's pretty basic. It's just that the moon presence wants a child. Lawrence said, okay, I'll go get you a child, and in the meantime, like, keep hunters in this dream so they can't die. And then, like, that's why Gurman's like, oh, hey, Kyan. Yeah, we're just going through assets. I don't know what any of them are. Yeah, like, I don't know what this is. We are actually in misty season right now because it's autumn outside. Ooh, what's this? This would be... Yeah, that's the elevator that you take up. And then, like... Yeah, there's, like, the snipers out there, and then the, You jump out, like, that's where the shortcut is there. And yeah, these are just like fragments of Yharnam. It's hard to tell what a lot of them are without context. Yeah, that's like the side of the building you run around, and there's like a, I think, yeah, there's like a bath and a scourge beast, and let's leave Yharnam because we're gonna be here forever looking at random. Oh, here we go. That's all the Mensis people that are in Mikolash's room. I wonder if the original... Because originally Mikolash was not in that room. originally it was a giant hunk of like eldritch goo. Because this is like before Mikolash was dead. Initially, like he would remain alive until the end of the game. So when you went to Yahar'gul, instead of there being the big instead of there being like the Mikolash, instead of there being Mikolash's corpse, there was like this huge blob of like, it's the same model they use in the Nightmare Frontier for those like hunks of rock with skulls on them that you see around the Mensis brain. It's one of those. Like that would have been there instead of Mikolash, but I don't know if it's. I've seen it recovered, but I don't know if like they kept it. Yeah, I don't know if it's here. It might be in another part of the game. Yeah, there's where you go in. That's where Mikolash's body is now. The little church after the one reborn. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, like there's Mikolash's corpses like on that dais there, and then. But like originally it was like a hunk of like, yeah, it's this weird sort of space rock thing. Hang on, I've lost my place. I'm 6503. So we're there. So yeah, there we go. Like there's the. Oh, there it is. This thing. Cool. So this thing. This was what was originally there in place of Mikolash. You just got this big, like, hunk of, like, the Yahar'gul, not the Mensis Nightmare Rock is just in there. And, like, all the Mensis people are gathered around that instead of Mikolash. And I think the idea is that they're like, this is some, like, because it's like a remnant of the nightmare, they may be using it as, like, a focus. Just sort of in the same way that like we use the tonsil stone to go back and forth, they may have been like using it as a focus to conduct the ritual. To go into the nightmare. No, this is from when you went to the nightmare from the lake behind the witch's abode. This is like a really early progression model. You would go to Yahar'gul. You'd go to Yahar'gul. I think they would actually summon the Red Moon in Yahar'gul. Like that, because that's the whole, like, you know, in Advent Plaza you see the giant, you get a really good look at it. So I think you would actually see the moon get summoned. Then you would go from Yahar'gul all the way back to Hemwick. And then Mikolash would be in Hemwick, and then Mikolash would jump in the lake. And then you would jump in after him. That's how you'd get to the Nightmare Frontier. So I don't know the exact purpose of this. Like, I don't think it probably wouldn't have done anything if you touched it. But, like, it's like that's the focus of the old Mensis ritual. And yeah, there's like, I think there's a bunch of different versions of that little chapel. Anyway, that's one thing. We found something. Okay, so now we're in map 29, which is a nightmare. Map 29 is just the chalices. So it's like every single chunk of architecture in the chalices. Like every room layout, every corridor. Like, yep, everything you see in the chalices is like all here. And when I was ripping this, it took 7.5 hours, and 4 of those hours was just map 29, because it is every single piece of chalice architecture. And yeah, I'm absolutely sure there's stuff here no one has ever seen before, but I'm not going through all, like, 2,000 of these yet. So this is like the little, we'd reckon this is like one of the more common, like, chalice layouts you see. The little, there's the fountain in the middle, and then there's, like Fumarians patrolling up there. What else is there? And yeah, like, I would really like to distribute this. The problem is that it's like 30 fucking gigabytes, and it's not really great for distribution unless you like made it a torrent or something. But yeah, I'll figure out something to do with this. Like, I've got it on my computer for now. Like, I don't think anyone's, as far as I'm aware, no one's done a like complete like conversion of every single file before now. So, like, I've got them. I can send people individual ones if they want them, but I don't know what I'm going to do with, like, all 10,500 of these. So let's leave map 29, because it goes on forever. I'm still unable to... I'm still scrolling past map 29, still scrolling past map 29, still scrolling past... There it is. I find, like, yeah, map 29's over half the fucking assets. I might... I don't know. We'll figure out something. Like, that's the... We're still at 29. That's, like, the thing you take to the... Oh, yeah, Flights of Fantasy. The other thing I have backed up safe... I have 3 things backed up safely. No, 4, sorry. I have 4 things backed up safely. I have all the Bloodborne models. I have the surviving episodes of a public access show called Flights of Fantasy, which is where all those gaming in the Clinton years reviews are sourced from, but I have the full episodes. I have every released video in a short-lived series of tapes called Krypton Force, where they got a bunch of anime, really badly hacked it up, and then put it on tape for, like, PAL regions, because previously it was only in Canada. And the NTSC to PAL conversion is really terrible, and they look like shit. And the covers are, like, a mixture of pretty inaccurate hand-drawn artwork, but then also, like, literally just images from Transformers. Like, just got a still from Transformers and stuck it on the cover without, like, even though it's not a Transformers tape. So I have all of those. This is the Hunter's Mark Ritual altar, by the way. You don't see it because it's a texture, but, like, if I were to put the texture back on that, which I probably will at some point, that has a big Hunter's Mark on it. The other thing I have, which I don't think Sin and I have talked about, is I have the complete archive of an Australian public access series called Damon Dark UFO Hunter, which was, like, one guy basically trying to make a show about him fighting aliens. But it was only in... Like, he couldn't leave Melbourne, and he often couldn't leave his house, and he's the only person in it. So, it is... Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's just a series of aliens that are either, they're either invisible... They wear a bag on their head, or it's a clone of him, because he's the only person in it. And it's... The important thing to realize about Damon Dark is it's done completely seriously without any trace of irony. And it's... I don't know how to even begin describing... Like, there's episodes where, like, the aliens plant a bomb in his house, but he just has this, like... tiny house in the suburbs, and the bomb is a sprinkler that's in his garden, but he's pretending it's a bomb. And he did at one point, he did Damon Dark live. Like, he put on his stage play, and I made a pilgrimage to, like, the community theatre to see it. And I was one of about 3 people there who knew who he was. The rest of them had just gone to the theatre that night. So I'm sitting there in the audience, and I'm watching this guy in, like... He's got this, like, green disco light going on, and he's going, like... I reached within the wormhole and travelled through time. Like, with a box next to him that's got UFO evidence, don't touch written on it. And, like, I was completely, like... I knew what to expect, no one else did, and on the way out there's these people and they're just shuffling out like they have shell shock. And there's a couple in front of me, and they just said nothing. They just filed out in silence, and then in the car park, one of them just turned to the other and went like, oh yeah? Something a bit different? But yeah, the guy who made it took it, or he had it all offline for a while. He had it all online for a while, and then he took it down, but I was able to back up, like, most of it. It's a trip if you ever see it. Anyway, this is the the like coastline boss arena that looks exactly like the place from Demon Souls. This is like the That's the assets for that. So I'm guessing like the coast itself is probably here. Like there's the stuff you see hanging down. I wonder if we can find the actual coast. I don't know if it's in. It might be another part of the. Yeah. Oh, there's the wall. There's the wall. There's the wall that is around the coastline. And if we zoom, well, yeah, that's like. It's got like Thumerian statues on it. That's kind of interesting because I didn't know when that's supposed to date from. But yeah, like. This is like, yeah, the coast, like, it ends at that wall. And it's still, like, it's still kind of there. I think it's invisible, but then on, like, some versions of the Chalice, you can see it. But you can see, like, yeah, that's got Thumerian statues on it. That's really kind of interesting. Yeah, the problem is, like, we started calling it the Lake of Mud as just, like, shorthand. It's not actually called that. And the problem is people think that's the official name now, and they're like, ooh, what does it mean? Because of Micolash and everything. Like, it's not called the Lake of Mud. It's just a coastline. But, Lake of Mud kind of stuck as the name. Yeah, this wall's huge. It goes all the way around. There's a very similar wall in Orphan of Koz's arena, which is just made invisible. Like, when you hit the boundary in Orphan of Koz's arena on the coast, you can't go any further. Holy shit! I've never seen this before! Oh, wow. Okay. I might screenshot this. I think this might be the wall that... Hang on. Print screen. Where's Math? Hey, Math. There. Okay. I think this is probably, like... Yeah, where you'd pop out, but it doesn't render in game because if you go there, you just get an invisible wall. I think this is the side of the coastline arena. Yeah, I'll send it to Trin as well. Hey, guess what I found? Yeah, I'm doing this largely because it's like that will keep a record of what file I was on because I'm not going to write these all down. Oh yeah, okay. This is like, this is the this leads to that side area. This leads to the coastline and some of the developer chalices. You like pop through there, and interestingly, that exact design there is recycled for Nightmare of Mensis. So I think the idea is like they were a bit more overt than that Nightmare of Mensis was like left over from a previous civilization. Okay. Alright, we found something, yay. I thought I'd leave map 29, but no. Served its purpose. Okay, so we're now on... This is all Byrgenwerth, so we're back in Byrgenwerth. This is like the Byrgenwerth walls. We all know, like, at this point, Byrgenwerth was pretty badly hacked up, so... There's just, like, chunks of wall and stuff. I don't know if we see them... Oh, yeah, this is the little pathway you take after the Shadows of Yharnam that leads to Byrgenwerth. And yeah, there's just like chunks of tree. Because if you go through that area, a lot of the trees are actually just floating in the sky. Were the chalices outside originally? I think the idea is at the very... in Demon Souls. Demon Souls is... Oh, hang on. I found an episode of Damon Dark. He's doing a seance. He has an upside-down wine glass surrounded by letters. That sounds about right, yeah. He also... He had a Dalek ripoff called the Socrad, which was synthetic operational construct responsible for absolute destruction. And it was made of, like, stuff from his kitchen that he, like, stacked on top of each other, and then he duplicated it 3 times in, like, an editing, like, trick in Windows Movie Maker to make it look like there were more of them. And they just flash on and off going, destroy, 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 but they can't move. So he just cuts them, and then it cuts to him going, like, no! Anyway, Damon Dark is its own deep dive, but yeah, a lot of the trees around that Byrgenwerth area, they're like floating in the sky because they just like stuck them there. Because like that was not the original way you got to Byrgenwerth, and they just sort of like stuck a bunch of trees together. So those, if you like look, you get the monocular and you look through the trees, a lot of them are just like suspended in the air. Here we go. Yes, like this is a little path we take. The problem with Damon Dark is he took most of it offline because people were making fun of him, and I don't want to like contribute to that. I genuinely like Damon Dark as a work of kind of surrealism. Yeah, so this is like all the Byrgenwerth stuff. Yeah, he is very Breen-esque. He's very Neil Breen. If you imagine like the Australian Neil Breen on public access, it's kind of like that. Oh yeah, okay. And like I first discovered Damon Dark when I was at film school. Oh, hang on, is this used? There's like a little. I think that fence is used. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be like, I think that's where the shadows are. But yeah, I first discovered Damon Dark at film school, and I showed some other people that, including this like friend of mine, and then she told me that like years and years later, she was talking to her aunt, and her aunt was saying like, oh yeah, I used to go out with this guy in Melbourne, and we ended up breaking it off, and he made this really weird public access TV show. And there was this pause, and then she just said, was it Damon Dark? And her aunt's blood like ran cold. And she's like, how the fuck do you know about that? And yeah. I am the keeper of the Damon Dark archives. Because they need to be preserved. It's beautiful. Oh, the guy who did Damon Dark, he also wrote a series of self-published Amazon novels called Sherlock Holmes Time Detective. Which are not quite on the level of Damon Dark, but I have those as well. Yeah, this is all Byrgenwerth assets. Yeah, so like there's like the top of the roof there. Because like Byrgenwerth is pretty simple geometric shapes. A lot of the models aren't that big because they're just flat, and then they add the foliage later on. Yeah, there's like where this is all. We all recognize these places. So there's like the side of the building. You pop in. I don't think there's some like upside down assets here from Upside Down Byrgenwerth, but we'd have to like comb through them, and there's thousands. So I don't think we'll be doing that today. Yeah, there we go. Like we all recognize that. That's the where you pop through. Gotta unlock the door. Do I post stream notifications? Sin handles Twitter. I don't do Twitter anymore because I figured everyone. All I do on Twitter is announce that I'm doing things for Sin, but then Sin just announces that on Twitter as well. So it's like, what's the point? Here's the observatory dome, and like this is the interior model of the dome, and like you can, I can't show it off in this program, but like that can actually open up. Like that used to go tss, and like it'd separate the. We saw the telescope earlier. Yes, Sin's Twitter account has basically just become our Twitter account because too many people were following me, so I couldn't post personal stuff anymore. So it's just like I'll just retweet when we're streaming. So just retweeting Sin to like 95% the same audience. There we are. There's the telescope. Here's the stairs in Byrgenwerth. Yeah, here's the interior. That's the... I think that's the lecture hall? Yeah, that's the lecture hall, because you can see, like, there's a door on the ground, and then the other side door is on the second floor. Oh, yeah, no, I haven't worked on my, my game lately because my computer died, so I had to like restore it from an old backup. And then, but like it's not compatible with the current version of the engine, so I got to go like retweak a bunch of things. And I'm like, oh, I don't feel like it right now. I've got other shit to do, so I don't know. When did I realize I was the co-host? I don't know. I think around the time we just started bullying each other. No, I can restore it. It's not like lost forever. It's just like, I guess like if anyone knows, like if you work with a program that does 3D and then they do an update, it tends to screw with things. So like, I'd have to go through and like fix it up by hand. But yeah, like it's still like intact. I just have to like tweak it for the new version of the engine. And also, like, I mostly made that game as a programming exercise to teach myself how to use the engine. Now that I know, it's like, I could just make something else. But no, I'll see it through to the end. Oh, here we go. This is the distance model of the Forbidden Woods windmill that you see from Byrgenwerth. We're still on Byrgenwerth. Where else is here? Oh god, yeah. I lose things a lot. Okay, this is here. I don't know what this is. This is a 12 megabyte octagon. And I don't know why it's 12 megabytes. I don't know why it's, I guess, very complex for some reason. It might be like, I don't know, it might be the bottom of Moonside Lake. Yeah, this is like a ton of, that's Byrgenwerth distance model, I think. What's this? Yeah, I think this is like the area you go at the start. Oh, here we go. Okay, so, yeah, this is, I think, yeah, this is Nightmare Frontier, map 33, so. Map 33 is a mess. They hacked it up a fair amount. But, like, these are the flowers from, a lot of people don't see these because they're in the caves, which people sort of don't really want to go to because, you know, it's full of poison and frenzy-inflicting lanterns, but these are the flowers in the caves, the, like, lumen flowers. They made quite a few of them, yeah. Cool. Yeah, here's, like, the big monoliths from the frontier. I actually went to the... there's a full-on map explorer that I'll do another day, because, you know, this is taking a while, but, go to the frontier there and just see, like, all this crap that's just sitting out of bounds, because they were frantically hacking it to pieces, it looks like. Here's, like, the monoliths that have all the sinew in them that are breaking apart. Again, just, like, here's some more grass. Oh, here's like, the basalt column parts. These are nice, I like these. Doesn't reveal anything, I just think they're neat. It's like Marge Simpson, but I'm holding basalt. Tons of tombstones. Yeah, there's a lot of like the caves from the caves that you go through are just like everywhere. Oh, here we go. I don't recognize this at all. Like, yeah, I don't know what this is because it's like holes in it, which implies that you could go in and unless that's just they might just be for texture. But it does look like you could go in and out. I don't know. What's an easy game for beginners? That's it depends on the game you want to make. Like people thought I was making that thing in RPG Maker and I wasn't. Because like RPG Maker is quite dictatorial in what you can and can't do with it. I was making it in a 3D engine called Godot, which is Godot. Which is it's kind of like Unity, I guess, but it's like simpler and it's open source. So there's no like licenses or anything involved. And it's pretty like my computer is slow. And like Godot is a pretty light program. Like it's Unity. If I run Unity, it's really really slow because it like does all sorts of like big impressive things. Godot is more like a light program. I like Godot a lot. But like yeah, RPG Maker is fine if you just want to. If you like the more you stray from like Dragon Warrior, the less useful RPG Maker. I'll type it in the chat. It's Godo. Yeah, it's Basically, the thing about RPG Maker is, like, the more you stray from, like, what you'd think of as a traditional sort of, like, SNES era JRPG, the more complicated it gets, to the point where, like, you may as well just write the whole thing from scratch. Things you'd have to go and... I think it still uses Ruby as the syntax, but you'd have to go in and, like, rewrite the code and stuff. But Godot's pretty... Like, I learned Godot pretty quickly. It's pretty intuitive. Gotta do some scripting, but, like... I'm fine with that. What is this? There's all these, like, caves and things that they don't use. Oh, yeah, Game Maker Studio, yeah. Game Maker Studio... Like, Game Maker can do 3D, but it's not very good at it. It's not very well supported. That's why I don't use it anymore. Because you have to, like, go in there and, like, it doesn't have a 3D... view of the editor. You have to just like write a bunch of vertex buffers in the code and like hope it works when you run it, and if it doesn't, you just got to do it by eye, and it's a pain. Game Maker would probably be okay if you wanted like a 2.5D thing, but for like a full 3D thing, I don't think it's that useful, unless they've like changed it to implement a proper 3D view now. But like yeah, Godot is free and open source, yeah. It's like 12 megabytes or something. It's tiny. I'm using it right now for something else. Autumn, who was in chat earlier, she uses Unity to make their stuff, like Bomb Dolls is in Unity. Kyan uses Construct, don't you? To do Brave Earth. I think, like, I want to be the guy as, like, that was Multimedia Fusion, and then your current one is Construct. Yeah, so this is just, like, random chunks. Let's just leave the Nightmare Frontiers. This is a bunch of weird, just rocks that I think we're all familiar with. No one likes the Nightmare Frontier. I feel sorry for it. Oh, what was that? I come back, I saw something good. Oh, this is the DLC. So this is all, like, this is Hunter's Nightmare. Where am I? Come back. There we go. So yeah, like, this obviously, like... Yeah, this... Yeah, we all know this. Like, this is... Obviously, like, it's reversed again, so you gotta, like, think the other way around. So, like, that's the stairs that lead up from Erden Chapel. And then on that side, that's like the plaza. And then there's the stairs. And, oh yeah, look, we got little... I remember, like, when Lance... I used Lance's no-clip mod once, and you could, like, basically do this, but in-game. And I got to see, like, these, like, Nintendo 64 amygdala statues that are just so low detail. It's like something from Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, there's, like, again, just, like, bits of Yharnam. We've sort of... Why did they reverse everything? I think I reversed everything. Like... I had to convert these to a different format to get them viewable, and I'm pretty sure like they're backwards because I did something wrong when I reversed everything. Like I guess they like it might use like a. I'm guessing just like the Y coordinates are different. Like then it'll be the Z, like the X or the Z coordinates are probably just like inverted when I did something to them, but like. I can fix these, but I'm not going to fix 10,000 of them. So I think what we'll do is, like, we'll figure out what's important, and then I'll reassemble them in Blender. I don't think there's much else to see here. And, like, the research hall, I think anything's cut from there. Here we are in the... Like, yeah, this is like the wooden platforms from the hamlet. Oh yeah, there's the parasite farm. I think the second biggest model after the corpse cart is the parasite farm, because that That building is just one gigantic object. It's like the whole thing is just like... It's like 100 and something. It's like 100. It's 160 megabytes, just the Parasite Farm by itself. He has like the nets and everything. I don't think anything was cut from... Well, okay, things were cut from here, but they're not still in there. There's like a whole cut fishing hamlet. Well, I am archiving 100 a day for the Bloodborne wiki on the grounds that way I can finish it kind of by the end of the month because there's 1,600 objects. There's 1,600 objects and then about 9,000 map objects. So you combine them, you get like it's like 10,500. Okay, yeah. This is the giant Parasite Farm object. Takes a while to load. Yeah, there we go. It's like this. Like I talked about it before, but what takes up like space is the faces. It's like every face qualifies. So like even though physically this is not the biggest thing in the game, because every single one of those bits of wood has at least 6 faces, and I think a lot of them have 8 because they smoothed the sides. It's like gigantic. It's got all those faces. Anyway, that is... I think that's it. I want to see if I still have it. Because I was going through the textures. Well, we can do it this way. Okay, whatever. This is the textures. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it's to do with the number of like faces on the surface rather than the physical size. So like Byrgenwerth is not that big because Byrgenwerth as a place is just a bunch of flat walls, but then somewhere like the Parasite Farm is massive in comparison because all those sticks have to be rendered separately. Anyway, this is I think this is Ludwig's texture, I think. Yeah. So the textures are all here. That's the Moonlight Greatsword. Like all that blue stuff there. So I did this before I did the models. I converted all of the in-game textures to PNG. And I gave them to Hong, who people might know, Hong Van Nung on Twitter. She's an artist who's very into the textures. And she's, like, I was helping her before getting reference images of them, and I'm like, hey, all those reference images are pointless, because we can just get these now. But, yeah, this is all of them. This is the Bell Maidens. How big is that texture? Ludwig's texture is, like, 5 megabytes. It's 5 megabytes, and it's, like, yeah, it's 2048 by 2048, so it's pretty big. Some of them are tiny. It's like a bunch of 4 kilobyte ones that are just for like some random bits of cloth. Let's look at the big ones. This is the Bell Maidens from the One Reborn fight. And they literally made them by just like tinting the same texture red. And they only... Like, it's the same texture, they tint it red and then they only use the robe, so the rest of it stays grey. So now we're going to show you something. It's going to be a little not safe for work. Alright? A little lewd, but... You zoom in. The Bell Maidens have nipples on their textures that you don't see. Scandalous. That's the texture for the Bell Maiden's bell. That's the knife texture. There's some stuff here that's genuinely like... Lawrence's human skull is in here. I mentioned it before. Actually, yeah, this is cool. This is the texture when they summon... like blood phantoms, and they have that like red sort of like texture on them that's like pulsing on and off. That is the that's the one they use. They just get that to scroll over the body. That's a brain sucker. Actually, yeah, this is really good if you want to look at like the jewelry, because you can see just right there, that's what they're wearing. What I'm interested in is... Also, these all have proper names. So, like, that's... They're just called, like this is called axe, so we know it's an axe. And, like... Try to find one's a bit bigger. Like, this is called robe, so we know that's a robe, as opposed to just having a number attached to it. But yeah, yuck. But that's the pig. That's the, you can see there's the eyes and the ears. That's the boars that try to eat you. That is the... What's this? I think that's... Oh, that's the spider. Oh, yeah, hang on. We can have a look at, That's Patch's... That's Patch's, amulet thing. Yeah, there we go. And there's the hair. What I want to find... Oh, there's Patch's face. So Lawrence's human skull is in here. I found the texture for it. The model, as far as I can tell, is gone. But the texture for it is in here. Back from when... Oh, hang on. There's Eileen. It's Eileen's hat. Yeah, and there's the slime. You can see it's covered in stuff. That's a crow. There's a couple of decent things. Oh yeah, okay. So when the scorpions show up in the dungeons and they have all those scorpions on their back, that's the texture they use. Just a giant scorpion mesh. That's the dog. So yeah, there we go. There's the Garden of Eyes orb everyone's curious about. What's this? I have no idea what this is. This is... Well, you can kind of back engineer because this is like... This is character 2120, so if we look at... Actually, I can look it up now because I've got my list in front of me. What's character 2120? Oh, it's Shadows of Yharnam. Yeah, so 2120 is Shadows of Yharnam. So... Ooh. Gross. That's a blood liquor. I don't know what a lot of these really are. Oh yeah, these are the tentacles for the centipede thing. What I want to find is Lawrence's skull. I wrote it down in a Discord message, so I'll just check that. And I put it here. Okay, it's M24. Here we go. Okay, so they're arranged by map at the bottom. So it's M24035. M24035, where is that? Let's go through all of M24. So, like, M24 is for the Grand Cathedral. Oh, here it is. Okay. That's the crown that Alfred puts on the altar after you beat Ligarius. And I thought, oh, was that Lawrence's crown? But it's not, because I realized, oh no, it's for the altar. It's for Alfred. But, we keep going down here. We should eventually find Lawrence's skull. If not, I can just pull it off Discord because I already posted it there. Yeah, I think that's Amelia. Oh, here's the lumen flowers. Like, there's the stalks and there's the petals. No. Alright. What is it called again? M2402. Hang on, okay. M24020. What the fuck? Hang on. 0100. MT40200. Okay. Maybe I accidentally deleted it. I'll just add it to this stream. Hang on. There we go. So that is Lawrence's human skull. This was in the Project Beast trailer. You could see, like, his skull was where his beast skull is now, but it had this, like, crown on it. And like, you can see there very clearly it's a human skull. It's got the crown. I'll actually find on the wiki the picture of the skull. Hang on. Where is it? There we go. So yeah, what you saw then, like, that is pretty clearly the texture for that object, like the crown matches and the skull matches and everything. And I don't know why I seem to just, like, maybe I lost the texture, but, like, yeah, you saw it, so there we go. What else is here? I don't think I really found anything else interesting. There's a really gross removed Byrgenwerth one. That is just called Babies. And yeah, this is the one I was saying that, like, they seem to have saved over the original altar with the one from the DLC. Which makes me think that if we got a rip of... Oh, actually, this is cool. This is the Messengers. And if you just look at it like that, it looks like a, like, HR Giga print or something. Like, that would... Like a texture from Doom or something. Just like that on its own is really grotesque. But, yeah, there's, like... From what I can tell, that object that texture is for was overwritten by the altar in the DLC. Which makes me think that if you got the, like, a rip of the disc from before the DLC came out, the original altar might be in there with the, like, the skull on it. Forgotten where... There's like a texture here that it's for... It's like something for Byrgenwerth, but it's got, like... Yeah, Dark Seed 2, exactly. Yeah, there's, like, it's for, Oh, here's Viola. Like, that's Viola's texture. And that's Gascoigne. That's her hair, hang on. That's Gascoigne's other daughter, when you find her dead by the base of the ladder. And there's, yeah, this is, like, when you see a flat, just like a flat square, it's because it's, like, applying this texture. I think this might be the Scorpion. But yeah, I think we might, if we get a rip of 1.0, we can probably find some more stuff. Because the altar is kind of still in here, but the skull isn't. And I think it was probably two different altars to begin with. And it, like, swapped between them. So the one that we have in game is like one of them, but then the one it would swap for got replaced by the DLC altar. Yeah, there's, like, the Murgo carriage. Yuck. It looks so much more disgusting. Oh god, this, yeah, they're all organized strangely because I'm finding more for, like, maps I thought we'd been through. Here's the Byrgenwerth bottles. Oh, here we are. Okay, that's the Byrgenwerth eye texture. This is just called This is for the same object, and it's just called children. So, like, there's straight up, like, pickled babies in Byrgenwerth, and I don't think it uses this texture. Or if it does, it uses it in, like, it's compressed down so you can't see it properly. These are candles. It's a lot more, like... Oh, yeah, here we are. Like, a lot of these murals are actually pretty detailed. Because I assumed that, like, this is mostly done through normal mapping. But these are pretty high-resolution murals. A lot of these are based on real murals. If you, like, go around and you look at, like, historic buildings in Prague, like, I think this exact mural exists somewhere. And they just, like, basically... I think they just photographed it and used it. I think that's Amelia? Oh, no, that's like a statue. I found the, oh, here's Lawrence's skull. Yeah, I didn't delete it, it's here. I do have the normal maps, but they're not in this folder. I broke them into the normal maps in the albedos. So there's that Lawrence's skull. Like you saw, like, there's the crown, there's the skull, there's the thing it's resting on. I think the pendant's in here. I have shown the pendant off already, so if I can't find it, I'll just find the screenshot I took of it. Yeah, they're labeled weirdly here. Like, it sort of changes. Sometimes it's like starts with the map number, sometimes it's another number, and then... Oh, here's Kos. Here's Kos's incredibly sexy face. So, hang on. What did I call the pendant? Oh no, hang on, I put it on the other server, sorry. Stick this in the... Damn it, no. I think it's this one. There we go, okay. So that's the texture for the pendant. Obviously in game they make it like gold, but the actual texture is dark. And it has something written in it. If we zoom in. There. So you never see that because the pendant never opens, and I don't know if it can open, but there's something written inside it. So I think if we just get rid of this, let's change it for something else. Let's just get rid of it. Fuck it. Remove. Okay, so sexy calls will keep you company. None. I'll write on this. So I think, like, it could just be nothing, but it's weird that they bothered including it at all. So we've looked at it a lot, and I think it might be The closest I can make out is it might be saying she dreams. Like, I don't know. It could just be not like it could just be, for all we know, like they referenced that texture from an existing object that had handwriting on it, and they just left it there. But yeah, I don't know. Just turn that off. Right, what else do we have? See, we don't know because Amelia was added later on, as was Cos, so it could refer to anything. It could refer to like, you know, the Thumerians. Oh, here's some like Eldritch script. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is called Letter. So I guess this is the texture that they use for like written documents on the, or like maybe it's for the messages. It's like a lot of stuff here. I'll try to find the ones that are M25 are the Cainhurst ones, which people seem to be into. So M25 that's the chair from Cainhurst. This is interesting because this is like portraits. I think these aren't the ones in the hall. I think these are like really small ones that you sometimes see on like the tables and things. That's for this is just called statue. I'm trying to think, are any of the statues in Cainhurst covered? I don't think they are. That's interesting. These are Mensis, I think. Yeah, Note 26 is Mensis. So this is like the... But then if you go down, there's another bunch of them that are also called 25, but it's like 25 with a space before it, so you don't initially realize. That's Annalise after she gets pulped. That's Annalise's helmet. And you see, like, there's the blindfold that goes around it. And that's like the bloody texture for the throne. These are the wandering... No, this is the skull rocks from Mensis again. We can see this Shattered Maria picture, actually. It's tiny. I gotta go through and find it. It's kind of disappointing. Oh, hang on. That is, I think... If we remember the old Anthony Hopkins looking guy that they cut, that might be his book. Oh, hang on. I found it. How to pick up fair maidens. Thank you. This is all clinic stuff. More clinic stuff. I think, is that Yosefka? No, it's not. This is all like really disorganized. Like within the actual game itself. If we keep going through map 35, we'll eventually find Maria's portrait. Here it is. So that's Maria's portrait. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm pretty sure, like, you can clearly make out someone sitting, and then I think that's someone standing. But, like, I don't know. That's literally the resolution that it is. We can't make it any bigger. So I'm guessing like there's clearly somebody sitting there. You can see they got a face. There's a hand. There's another hand. They're like in a sitting position. It might be Gurman. And then there's like a dark shape over here. Might be someone standing. Might not be someone standing. Might just be like the sky. I don't know. But yeah, that's all we have. I don't know what else you can do with it. Yeah, we're doing the CSI enhance. What else is that's like this? That's the back of it. Here's some more eyes. I think these. Oh, this is back to Byrgenwerth again. Yep, more of Miyazaki's dead children obsession. Ugh. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, because all the Byrgenwerth telescope stuff, it's all called like astronomy in the files, which does make me think that like it is intended to be like they were waiting for you to do something with the telescope. Oh, here we go. This is what I mean about the mapping, because like when we saw the clock before, you could see it had runes embossed on it. This is the texture it actually uses, and you can see it's blank. And it's blank because like the rune is actually at like when it's added to the model, because the model rune has the rune sort of stuck on it. They pop out, but there's actually nothing on it normally. I think they add like a reflection map to the runes to make them easier to see. Like here's all the like the floor textures and stuff. If you, I know you could use this to play Dungeons and Dragons if you wanted. Just scale it out and print it out. Yeah, it's just some more like mossy statues. Yeah, back to Lawrence's skull again. The hell is this? It's disgusting. So yeah, we might end it here because we've been almost 3 hours, I think, at this point. And I don't know what order any of this is in. So the next project I want to stream is I have a map viewer, like an actual real deal map viewer that isn't just looking at chunks, where I can literally move around the maps in a separate program. So oh, this is the sky after you beat Orphan. Some more colors. So what I might do is like when that's set up, may even do it tomorrow because there's nothing else to do because we're stuck inside. So I'll go around and I can take you through, and that's really interesting because the map data, it's not discriminating what is and isn't loaded in game. So you can see characters they cut, you can see enemies they cut, all this shit's there. Yeah, so that'll be a very long stream, probably about as long as this one. So I don't want to start it now. So I guess Sin will probably be there for that. Maybe this time tomorrow, depending on when we're up. Oh, okay. Before we go, this is the last texture I want to show. This is just called Old. And I'm pretty sure this is the texture for that knight that I showed off in Hemwick. That'd be the texture for the shield. I don't know if it's used anywhere, and it's literally just called Old. So your guess is as good as mine. Just Old. That's about it. Yeah. Yeah, I can just keep randomly clicking through, finding stuff. Yeah, there's different dog textures. What's that? Yuck. I don't even want to know what this is. Oh, that's the pig again. God, it's disgusting. Oh yeah, the knight. You might not have been here for that, but in Hemwick there's a knight that's loaded. It looks like a Demon Souls knight, and they've got a sword and a shield, and they just load in and they don't do anything. So I suspect it's for that, because it's literally just called old. So yeah, I sent all these to Hong, so I think if she finds anything interesting, she can probably tell us. But yeah, there's thousands. This is just the objects. So there's like... The reason the things I was showing off before didn't have textures is because the textures are held in the map files. And that means that, like... like... There's even more textures that are just maps that we haven't looked at yet. These are the ones that are applied to, like, objects, not map pieces. So, it's that. Yuck. Oh, that's one of the giant lost children. Jesus Christ. That is revolting. Okay, so, that's also why the Cainhurst textures weren't... The portraits aren't here, because they're just part of the map, they're not an object. So yeah, I'll catch you all maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, depending on how things go with Sin. So she's still working, so she's gotta be in bed, gotta be up, even though she's not actually going anywhere. She's working online, so yeah, I'll catch you all later on. If you hang around Sin's server, I'm just like randomly posting shit there. If you're curious, when I find stuff, I'm basically throwing it there as a means of bookmarking it, because I'm not going to write down all these numbers. Yuck. I need to stop this, I'm going to be sick. Okay, so, oh, Knight Hemwick, what is the knight's story? I think he is from back when it was a much more Demon Souls sort of inflected story. Here's all the labels from all the bottles. I need to stop looking at these. Here we go, it's like all the clinic assets. This makes me think of like papercraft, that like you could print these out and make your own little Yosefka's clinic out of card. It's a project for the quarantine. Here we go, there's like everything in Yosefka. So we can see she's got boric acid. She's just got poison. There's nothing in it, it's just poison. She's got... She's got HCl. And, let me read that. Oh yeah, this is like, it's just got from each... This like mentions tablets and stuff, so they've clearly just scanned like an actual thing of medicine from the present day. Oh dear. It's like the Heineken bottle showing up in Dark Souls 2. Alright. So I'll see you all around. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. She may even want to do it over the weekend. We'll figure it out. But yeah, bye-bye everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. It will stay up unless Sin has set it to unlist, in which case I'll make her unlist it when she gets up. Okay, bye-bye.